Hey, welcome back to the Crash Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It is a Sunday evening. It is November 9th, 2025. And a wild thing has happened up here in the cold of Canada. Not only is it our first snow of the year, but would you look at that? Trickster Takeover is finally here. We got some new scenarios to try out today. So I picked this up on Friday. For those who don't know, Trickster Takeover, it's not the newest Marvel Champions product, but here it is, just as new. It was meant to come out, I think, August 15th. So here in Canada, we get a 3 months late. That's not great. Worried we're not going to get Civil War this year. But I picked this up on Friday, and I'll be honest, I haven't played it yet. I waited till tonight, despite wanting to dive into it all weekend. So we're going to try it for our first time together. Hold on, which way should I go? Let's just go slightly this way. Yeah, there we go. We're going to try it out for the first time today. So I have not played this. I don't know exactly how it plays out. We also, of course, have Loki. So today we're going to be starting on Enchantress. We're going to be playing on Standard, just to give it a first shot. We don't see what stage one is if we don't play Standard. So we're going to be playing Winter Soldier versus Enchantress. We're going to be doing Standard as a starter. If that works and we just like knock it out of the park, we might jump up to Expert. And then after that, we'll try out Loki, who is the second part of this scenario. Loki is designed a bit more for epic multiplayer, which is something I don't think Marvel Champions have supported before, but it's like a big thing, and FFG has been putting into their like standalone scenario packs across multiple games. So if you go to a big event like Gen Con, you can play with like 48 people, 64 people, 300 people. But it seems like it does still work in standalone. So this is our second Loki scenario in the history of the game, but it's been a long time since we've had new content. So we are really excited to see what some new stuff is. Toy Wonder, how's it going? Cheers and boo on CW delay. Like, it's obviously delayed, but we don't even have a date yet. I think for the last couple of weeks, Asmodee Canada updated that not only Trickster Takeover, but also Film Fatale was meant to come out on the 7th of November. If you look on their website and you look up what's it called, Civil War, it doesn't even have a date. It just says like Q4 asterisks. So I don't know. We'll figure it out together. Hopefully it shows up sooner than later because the new heroes look good. I think since we've last talked on the stream, they've released or they've announced Hercules, and they've shown off a whole bunch of the Hercules cards. And as much as I don't know a lot about Hercules, like most people don't know a lot about the Marvel Champions Hercules character, the kid looks really cool. So I'm excited to see these characters that I don't know much about, but seem to have pretty out there, pretty interesting kits. So always more excited about that than the character, I think. With that, let's talk about this Winter Soldier deck. I have not tested this one. It seems pretty straightforward. Winter Soldier, I don't think I've actually played a whole campaign with, which is pretty weird, considering Winter Soldier came out earlier this year. It was one of the last releases before Trickster Takeover, and I've enjoyed Winter Soldier a fair bit. Obviously, you need to have a scenario that has enough minions in it for this to be interesting, as much as I think you can go out of your way to make sure you have enough minions in front of you, and our deck has a whole lot of ways to do that. But I just haven't played enough with Winter Soldier, and we're going to be playing just as Winter Soldier today. It's a lot of delays. You need a Marvel Champions bootlegger. We kind of do. Like, maybe I need to set it up that I just have things shipped up from the States. We're kind of trying to avoid that. And then you have to pay tariffs when things cross the border, which is a bit annoying on top of it. So things get really expensive really quickly. I would really love it. I reached out to FFG a while ago. I haven't got a response to be like, hey, we're content creating. We're trying to do some content creation. Is it possible to get hold of stuff at launch? And I haven't have a response back yet, but I'm hoping for the best. All right, how's it going? How's your Sunday? Welcome to the stream. On that note, we don't know when the stream is meant to be starting consistently on Sunday. We used to be doing Sunday mornings. Looks like now we're just trying to do when it makes sense. The Sunday morning didn't make sense. This time slot might be a bit more convenient, but let me know if you're watching this in the VOD or live, whether Sunday afternoons or Sunday mornings make more sense for you. Some days evenings, some days mornings. We just have to play it by ear. I think next Sunday it'll be in the morning. Anyways, let's talk about this deck. It's Winter Soldier, so 2/2/2 stat line's really good, and after you attack and defeat an enemy, remove 2 threat from a scheme. We have a nice 11 health, and we have ways to increase that. Now, notably, you have to do the defeating of the enemy, and it has to be during an attack. So our basic attack, which we can boost, or attack events, which we have a lot of. This is also not limit once per turn, so if you can knock out a whole couple minions, you get a lot of threat. And this is not only the main scheme, this is anything, which is just a really fun ability. And this means that there's two challenges we have when we're playing Winter Soldier. First challenge is make sure that there's enough side schemes, or sorry, make sure there's enough threat on the table. And so this Justice deck has a bunch of side schemes and ways to get schemes, which is really nice. And of course, make sure you have enough enemies, which is another way in Justice you can make sure you have an enemy. As much as I think now every aspect in this game has ways to grab enemies out of the deck with some consistency, and Winter Soldier's deck also has that built in. So that's really fun, and it's been really powerful. It feels really good. When Winter Soldier lands, you get so much click compression, so much action compression. You're doing the things you want to do anyways. Why not get 2 threat at the same time? I kind of just hit refresh and see if you're on. Oh yeah, that'll work too, I guess. If you subscribe to the channel, you hit the notify bell, you'll get a notification when we go live, but I wish I could lock down a more concrete time, but unfortunately it's been difficult. Our alter ego side is not super interesting. It just says we can go get our hand. Our arm is really important. So as an action, we can spend a resource and search our deck and discard pile for it and put it into play. This is what I kind of wish, and we played on the channel just somewhat recently, Captain America, but it'd be more fun to throw out the shield if you had a way to get it back. And our arm, you can discard it and get it back, because in alter ego, you can consistently get it back. But this deck is not going to be discarding stuff. You can go play, what's it called? That protection tech card with Ant-Man on it. That's really, really good. All right, let's just look through the kit really quickly. Cybernetic Arm. This is what we want to be getting consistently. It's a tech card, and it generates a wild resource for an attack event. And if you do play an attack event with this, it deals an additional damage. That's really nice. We have a bit of overkill in this kit, and you can build around that entirely. But it's just more so making sure that your damage converts to destroying a minion, because if you destroy a minion, that's 2 threat. Speaking of punching minions, we have 3 copies of Metal Punch, the super direct route. Yo, what's up, Flip? Sunday afternoons I like. Lots of folks have church Sunday mornings. Oh yeah, I guess that is true. Yeah, I think it's going to be Sunday like around 9 or 10 Eastern next week, but we just don't really have a choice there. So this does either 7 or sometimes 8 damage to an enemy if you exhausted the arm, which we tried to do because 3 is expensive. This attacking is overkill. And 8 with overkill for 3 is kind of what you expect. And we're hitting a minion ideally with this, which means we get 2 threat off. This usually defeats minions. We have 2 copies of Electrical Discharge. This card feels nice. It's 4 or 5 damage, and if you spend an energy resource, which our arm generates a wild, so we can call it an energy resource, we stun that enemy. And I do think Enchantress has a bit of steady, I'm pretty sure, but that should be valuable. Then such a good protection card. It's when an enemy attacks, deal 3 damage to it. And if you exhausted the arm to pay for this, which you can because it's an attack traded, not only does it deal 4 damage, but you prevent all damage from that attack. And you don't have to exhaust. You can just fire this off and you technically have defended. But if you play protection decks, this is quite nice. Then we have a whole kit that's about minions and damage. We have Safe House number 30. As an alter ego, we can search the deck for a minion and put into play, draw a card. Genuinely a very good ability because discarding a minion or destroying a minion usually draws us a card, removes 2 threat, and does all this other stuff that we have built into our deck. So this is a Knight alter ego action that gives you +1 card. We have 2 copies of Silent Infiltration. Infiltration is a preparation card that matters for the context of this deck. And it says after you attack and defeat an enemy, you can ready your hero and confuse an enemy if you discard this. And we have 2 copies of these. These are okay. They're not the most important, but when they go off really well. And readying yourself is quite nice because we can have a pretty high attack. We have Winter Armor, pretty straightforward, +3 hit points and steady. Not bad at all. And then finally, we have Winter Mask, which says when we defeat a minion, draw a card, which is really quite nice. You gain the spy trait. There's not a lot of cards in the game that care about that trait besides a couple basic cards, I think. But that's nice. Oh, finally, we have Winter Rifle. I like this card a lot. Restricted as a weapon. When we attack, we can exhaust this to get +2 attack, piercing, and range. So that means we're attacking at 4. And that will help you knock out a lot of those mid-range minions. And piercing and range is kind of perfect. Piercing, I value a heck of a lot. Ranged, I don't value a lot. Because a lot of times when you're attacking a minion with this, you're defeating it, and then you don't worry about retaliate. But if the villain has retaliate, 4 damage, not taking retaliate, quite nice. Especially against Zola, who also can get toughness, I think. Now, we're playing some Justice cards, and there's a lot of good Justice cards that work together with this kit. These all came out together during the same wave, and so the raft is kind of exactly what we want. After we defeat a minion, we remove more threat based off of the scheme on the villain, or sorry, on the minion, and then we tuck it underneath here. And once we tuck the 5th minion under there, one of them escapes from the raft, and then we'll have another minion engaged with us guaranteed, which ensures the next turn we'll have more ways to consistently fire all of Winter Soldier's kit. Whether it's, not the rifle so much, but the mask and our text, it's just really, really good. And in Justice, this makes a lot of sense. We're going to getting more threat on the table or off the table more accurately and more minions kind of cycling through. Man, this card I've liked a heck of a lot. There's so many decks that I put this in that just solves problems with the deck. And it's mostly any deck that is very aggressive but doesn't have a lot of way of dealing with threat, or any deck that wants minions. Because this card's absurd. It's a 1-cost event that allows you to thwart 5, and if you find a minion, you put one of the minions discarded in front of you. It's not the first, it's 1. So when you see 5 cards, you can get usually a weak minion instead of a strong minion. And it's just a 1 for 5. Which is, again, you're playing Justice, so you shouldn't be the worst at removing threat, but this just feels so good. And then it fires everything we want to do. It gives us fuel for the raft. It gets cards on the table so we can defeat them to draw cards, confuse stuff. It's perfect. And we're playing a full play set of these. Card feels really good. Now, the other issue is we're going to be removing a lot of threat, and removing threat's only good if we have stuff to remove threat from. If there's only a main scheme, it's very easy for Winter Soldier to end up in a situation where there's no threat to remove. So we're playing 2 copies of One Way or Another, which is just one of the most busted cards in Marvel Champions. I'm surprised we haven't got this reprinted with new art, but maybe there is in Civil War. I'm not 100% sure. But this card, you just play it. You search the encounter deck for a side scheme, and then you draw 3 cards after you reveal that side scheme. Drawing 3 cards is just good. It's really good. And generally when we draw 3 cards, we should be finding a way to do damage. And if we can do a way to do damage and there's minions in front of us, which at some point in the mid game, they will always be minions in front of us, you'll just clear the side scheme right away. So just forward tempo. This card is so good. It's in your hand. You almost always play it. Card that draws 3 cards is really good. And it'll actually end up drawing 4 cards because we have Skilled Investigator. Costs nothing. After a side scheme is defeated, draw a card. Super easy to play in Justice. And I'm playing this because it's fun. I don't think this is a good card particularly, and might be overkill in this deck. But it's a 1-cost support from the core set that says after you defeat a minion, exhaust this, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So it is half of the text on Winter Soldier. But now we're at the point where a lot of side schemes we can search come in with 3 threat. That if you defeat a minion, you get a draw card with Skilled Investigator. You remove 2 threat with Winter Soldier, 1 threat from Interrogation Room, and you draw 3 cards with One Way or Another. It's just so much forward tempo if the gears are spinning well. So this card is definitely a luxury, not super necessary, but we'll try it. Justice is my favorite aspect, so nice to see. I think Justice is the aspect that I've probably played the most when I got into Marvel Champions. And then at some point when my card pool got bigger and bigger, Protection became clearly like the most interesting and most fun. But if I look at my stats, and mind you, speaking of the stats, we're going to be coming up to our 1000th game of Marvel Champions on this channel in the next month or so, maybe even this month. I think we're at like 970. So I'll let you know when that comes up and we'll make a big deal out of it. But I think Justice I've classically played the most, and then it shifted heavily into Protection. I played the least leadership by a mile. So it's good to be back to Justice. I feel like I haven't played Justice on the channel in a long time. Hey, speaking of Justice, we have 2 side schemes, player side schemes that are just very good. And it's nice to have these on the table so that we always have a place to take threat off with Winter Soldier, Interrogation Room, all that sort of stuff, Skilled Investigator. We have Superpower Training, which if we defeat this, we can go search our deck for an upgrade. And we have a very important 3-cost upgrade. It's our gun, our Winter Rifle, which I never want to play because we can get it for free with this. And we have Specialized Training, which is just super flexible. And I love playing this. For 1 cost, you get this down, and then it's just a sink of 5 threat. Whenever we have extra threat removal, and then we can get a specialization. The specializations are all these cards that give you +1 to a stat. There's technically a 4th one, but I didn't pull it out of the binder because we're never going to take it. So it's likely we're going to get the one that says +1 attack, and after you make a basic attack, draw a card. That's obviously so good for us because there should be a minion in front of us every single round, so we're drawing cards by attacking and pushing ourselves forward. Really good. One Way or Another is best in true solo. Hey, Dynamic Duke, you don't want to stick a bunch of side schemes up there in multiplayer. Yeah, I hear you. And that's the big thing is scaling is a fair bit different when you play multiplayer. I mostly play solo and a bit 2-player. I think if I play One Way or Another and grab a card that has 6 threat on it, I feel less good about it. But when you have 3 threat, which you can easily clear, this feels like such gas. But yeah, the scaling is probably a bit more interesting in multiplayer. I think pulling out a player side scheme when you're playing 4 players is almost probably not worth it, but this card is just so absurdly good in solo. And very similarly, this is the card that's value entirely changes if you play solo versus multiplayer. Clear the Area is 1 cost for 2 threat removal, and if it removes the last threat off of a scheme, draw a card. This is so easy to fire consistently because in solo, if you're dealing with the main scheme, it usually has 2 threat on it, 1 to 2 threat. So this just becomes a cantrip that clears 2 threat and replaces itself. It costs 1, which is not nothing, but that's very good. It also means with our basic activation and Clear the Area, we can clear 4 threat side schemes and draw 1 card from this and 1 card from Skilled Investigator. If you haven't played Justice solo, there's no chance you haven't played this card if you have access to this card. This card hasn't been reprinted, I don't think, and I'm hoping at some point it does. Yeah, we also have 2 copies of Sonic Rifle. I'm like feeling mid about this. I thought originally we would do some confuse in this kit, and then every time you build a confuse kit, you're like, okay, I'll put this in, and then I'll put that event that says when you make a basic attack, confuse or stunned, and then you're like, I'll just play float like a butterfly, and then you end up building the same Justice deck you've built like 100 times. I'm still playing 2 copies of Sonic Rifle because it's really good, and we have some reasons to jump down, but this is usually not 3 damage. This is usually just a confuse, and when you're playing solo, confuse is just very, very good. So we'll play 2 copies of this. We can always grab this as a 3-cost upgrade with our superpower training if we need to, but otherwise this might not make the most sense in the deck. I think this was a bit of a carryover before this deck was like very confuse heavy. We got allies. Wiccan is way better than I remember. Anytime I play Wiccan, I'm super impressed. 2-cost ally with 3 health is already really quite good, but after Wiccan thwarts, discard the top card and then counter deck, and for each boost icon, deal damage to an enemy. This does anywhere between 1, technically 0, and 3 damage, but that's just enough to like soften up a minion so that we can finish it off with Winter Soldier, which is perfect. But in the game, 2-cost allies are just great. We're not very good at blocking, so I have a couple allies in the deck just so we have chump blockers if we needed to, but we're trying not to use our basic defense. We're trying to play arm block or just kind of block with our friends. Captain Britain is a card I don't think I've ever played since the pre-con. He came in, I'm pretty sure that's Psylocke. But Captain Britain for 4 cost only has 3 health and takes 2 consequential no matter which way he goes. However, takes -1 consequential when you're thwarting a side scheme, which is what we want to do, or attacking a minion. And attacking a minion, maybe if Britain attacks for 3 and then we finish with 2++, if we have boosted stats, that'll be a nice way to knock out bigger minions. So I'm trying out Captain Britain. Pretty sure I'm not going to be impressed. But we have so much card draw on this deck that is likely we'll be able to just have a nice 4-cost sink in our hand on certain turns. Vivian. I think Vivian should see more play than Vivian sees play. I think Vivian's just so good. 2-cost allies in this game are really good, and her text is really good. She blanks attachments, side schemes, or non-elite minions. And I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a fair bit of attachments in Enchantress. Maybe there'll be obligations, I'm not sure, but I'm excited to blank some attachments. So we're going to play with Vivian, which I think will line up well against this scenario and the next scenario. We have Nick Fury because we have Nick Fury. We always do. We have Prof X because we have Prof X. We're playing on standard. You probably don't need these, but these cards are so flexible. And then lastly, I guess it's worth saying that we have our ally, which is Black Widow. After you play her, you can grab an attack event from your discard pile and add it to your hand, which is quite nice because we are playing our team up Winter Widow Soldier Spy, which is hard to type. But this means that we'll always have the team up if this is in the discard pile. This does 4 to 5 damage because it's an attack event, and we can go grab a preparation and put it into play, which we have those. So ideally, we're playing a fair bit of our discard pile. Then for resources, we have the research generator of our arm, we have helicarrier, and then we just have the basic 3. And that's kind of it. We have not as much of an economy as we have in a lot of other decks. We have only 2 research generators, which is probably where you want to be. I think you could do 3 or 4, no issue. But I think the biggest deal with this deck is that we have a fair bit of card draw with things like Skilled Investigator in one way or another, that maybe we don't need more research generators and our deck could just be self-sufficient. With that, are we ready to try out something new again? I haven't played this at all. I have pulled down all the cards. I don't think I know all the text on all the cards, besides some of the Enchantress art is like really old school and really cool. But with that, let's dive into Enchantress for the first time ever. I'm really excited. It's been a while since we've got to do fresh new stuff on this channel. So with that, I was like checking. I don't remember making these, but I have these. So Enchantress is 4 minions plus 4 more minions, I think, because we're going to be playing with Trickster magic. So there's 8 minions in the deck, which is not bad. Otherwise, I'm assuming it's a lot of attachments and obligations. Usually Enchantress, I know her for doing obligations. Jumping down to alter ego can be important. The whole shtick here is about hypnotic gazes, so we'll figure out how we have to interact with those. But let's look here at prime real estate. Contents, Enchantress 1 and 2, because we are playing on standard. We're playing standard 3, mind you, but we are playing on standard for our first run through. Our modular set, we chose Trickster Magic, which is a new interesting modular set that came out in Trickster Takeover. So it has these allies that you can kind of gain control over him. Setup says, set the Future of Despair side scheme aside. I believe we did that, yeah. Attach a random hypnotic gaze to each identity. Players cannot look at the reverse side and set each remaining hypnotic gaze aside. So there's 5 of them. Their backs are clearly meant to be different, but the fronts are entirely the same. I will roll a die, but if in chat you want to say a number between 1 and 5, I'll just grab that one. And if we don't have a number in about 30 seconds, I'll just go ahead and just roll the old D6. 1 is on the left. Pause for effect. Random number generator. Give this a shuffle. All right, I think we're just gonna roll a die on this one. That's okay. This is shuffled up. I'm gonna roll a die. We'll do 1 on left, 5 on right. 4. This is our winner. So we'll take these 4, put them aside. We can't look at the backs. So the backs are completely different. This is hypnotic gaze. Does it say attached to each identity? Okay. So the fronts of these are all the same. Hypnotic. I don't think they do anything on their own. Permanent. Your identity gains a defined trait. There's no inherent rules text for that. That's just going to matter in the scenario. If there are 5 or more charm counters here, remove each charm counter and flip this card over. So I'll just attach it here. So at some point, this will get worse for us, I imagine. Prime real estate, we flip this over. There's 2 main schemes. This one has 6 threat threshold. Enchantress sets out to conquer South America by turning all who oppose her into her enthralled lackeys. I think in the what's it called? The documentation, it specifically said that Enchantress is trying to take over South America and Loki's trying to take over Europe. I find that kind of funny. I don't think we've had such grounded stakes like this. Usually things are just happening in fictional cities. But yeah, that's kind of cute. Force interrupt. When a charm counter would be placed on the enchantment card in your play area, if your identity has the enthralled trait, place 1 threat here instead. So we still don't know how to get those counters, but if we're ever enthralled, which is probably the back of the card, we add threat here instead. This only has a threshold of 6, which is relatively low in solo. 1 advance can kind of catch you out there. All right, Enchantress, not you. I'm pretty sure I pulled the wrong one. Yeah, I did. Enchantress 1. All right, schemes for 2, attacks for 1, and a star. 15 health. Our star is after Enchantress attacks you, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. Okay, so she doesn't have a steady, which means the more that we stun her, and her deck has 2 stun cards, the less we'll put counters on here, and it seems like it will only matter once we hit 5 counters, and then this gets worse, and then I'm imagining the back of this gets worse. The back of it has to be different because there's 5 different ones, but otherwise, that seems to be the whole setup. Pretty straightforward. I wonder how different Enchantress 2 is. Now, attacking for 1 in the card is like nothing on standard. We don't really have to be worried about that, but it's more so the more she attacks, the quicker we get to this 5 threshold where it's eventually going to be a problem, I guess. I've already shuffled this. I'm going to do a quick shuffle and a cut, and then I'll put the mouse out of the way, and we'll be able to dive in. Okay. Let's put this to the side. And we should be good. So we're going to go for a mulligan here. Just take a sip of my coffee. I put this aside and then it's behind the microphone and I totally forget about it. Okay. Let's go. So what do we want a mulligan for? We're always going to get our arm. So if we have it, we'll just discard it if we can. We have an infiltration. We have no reason to keep this because there's only 1 threat on the table. So obviously this doesn't make a lot of sense. We don't really want a minion on turn 1. Interrogation room, we could consider keeping this. It's a setup card. It's of mid power, so I'll put it in the maybe camp. It's not the most important setup card. Energy, we'll keep that, assuming we have something expensive to play. We know about this one. We have a sonic rifle. I don't think we need to keep this. We have to hop up to fire the rifle because it is a hero card, but in theory, you could keep this as a way to go with the energy, but I'm assuming we'll find something expensive. And we found a safe house, which I actually think we do probably keep this one. We can play it on turn 1 and then go grab a minion from the deck. It's our choice. So if we find something that only has 2 attack, we might be able to knock it out right away. As much as knocking out a minion when we only have 1 threat on the main scheme is like not that most important. However, yeah, maybe that's okay. This is a weird mulligan. I'm assuming we won't keep the rifle. We could try and keep this. This is like not the best because we'll have 3 more cards. We can throw out 1 card for our rifle. Sorry, for our arm. Then we have 2 cards left over. I just don't know what happens to his energy. If we draw like the best case scenario is we draw one of the one way or another's, that would be fantastic because then we really open up our hand. Then if we get a minion, we can clear the side scheme that comes into play. So if that's the case, interrogation room is a bit of a question mark. I think we're going to go for like a little conservative mulligan, but I'm assuming we can mulligan way harder than this. Supernaut, how's it going? Winter Rifle. Okay, I don't want to play this thing because we can play with superpower training and grab an upgrade, but we do have the double, and setting this up on turn 1 can't be bad. Black Widow is not amazing to grab this early. She also costs 3, but yeah, I don't know if we want to grab her. We have literally no attack events in our bin, so she loses a fair bit of value. And then we have Clear the Area, so unfortunately we have no... Maybe we should be play 3 of those cards one way or another, because it would really tie this hand together. But that's this. Ugly. Okay. So we have 2 3-cost cards. We're only going to play 1 of them. I think there's no way we play Black Widow. So we're just going to go ahead and use our alter ego ability to discard this. So we spend 1 resource, search your deck and discard pile for their arm and put it into play. You want to get this down as soon as possible. A bunch of the cards really care about it, let alone it is a resource generator that we're not going to be able to use on this turn, but it is in play, which is nice. And we can exhaust this to generate a wild for an attack event, and that does an additional damage. The question is whether we play our safe house. It draws a card, so we should have done this in this order, which is fine. I'm assuming, let's just map out our math a bit here, because we might not need to play clear the area. So if we throw out clear the area to play the safe house draws a card. We're here. 1, 2, 3 plays rifle, and then we have one card left over. So if we have one card left over, we could play clear the area. So say that we jump up. Sorry, say that we, oh no, it's ugly. If we throw out interrogation room to play safe house draws a card. We jump up, we play clear the area here, that draws a card. It's like getting one card deeper into our deck just to clear one threat. I don't think it's worth it. We're going to try and clear with safe house anyways, so I think the worst card in our hand here is clear the area. Yo, Jalenhorn, how's it going? Nice to see some MC content. Winter Soldier seems fun. Winter Soldier seems really good, just really fun, as long as you're in a deck that has enough like minions to deal with. And I think we're just in the comfortable spot. We could be a bit ambitious, but we're going to go get a minion right now. So I'll throw out clear the area. We'll play the safe house. We're going to exhaust this. To search the entire encounter deck for a minion of our choice, you put into play, so you don't do any when revealed text, which is really nice. Obviously, we don't have this deck, but we have some of these big minions. So these are from the Trickster Magic set. They have a lot of health usually and worse text. If you defeat them though, you can go get the minion that corresponds to this. That's an ally, and I think they enter play or enter your hand. It says the player who defeated this puts a set aside whirlwind ally into play. So 6 health is a lot. So I think we're gonna go for something smaller. Zax is another one of those. And then we have, I think, a couple minions that are part of the actual set that are a bit smaller. So we've enthralled Brute, 4 health guard. So we can't do 4 health of damage. I think there's one more. Yeah, we can do enthralled. Oh, we can't even do enthralled lackey. We're short on damage on enthralled lackey. Lackey's quick strike, which is good to draw that because we're in alter ego, so quick strike doesn't happen. After this minion attacks you, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment. So we can't knock this thing out unless we draw damage. I guess we're playing our rifle. Yeah, this should be fine. Yeah, I think we deal with this. It's good to take a quick strike out of the deck because that means we'll get less counters. So enthralled lackey comes into play with 3 health and quick strike. Quick strike doesn't fire when alter ego, and we'll just shuffle this deck and draw a card. We could knock out one of the bigger guard ones, but I'd rather just remove a quick strike. As much as 1 damage isn't a lot. All right, safe house 30 draws a card. We drew metal punch. I don't think we play that. I think we just float a resource here really awkwardly. Because we want to play 1, 2, 3, and then we float interrogation room. I don't think we hold on to interrogation room, which is really ugly. We'll flip the hero. We are now Winter Soldier. We're going to go ahead and do 1, 2. I guess we could metal punch for overkill, but I'd rather just set up the rifle. It seems so good to get on turn 1. So do 1, 2, 3 for the winter rifle. This thing comes in. We can exhaust it to give our basic attack +2 piercing and range. So we're going to attack for 4. It defeats the lackey. And we can do our hero ability to remove 2 threat from his game. All right. I don't think we hold on to this. Maybe we do. Maybe we do. We're very likely to draw something with our arm next turn because we've only seen 1 attack event and our deck has at least 6 more. So I think we'll just hold on to this and just set up a bit. It's on the standard. Like maybe we could just rush it down, but we'll pass. We'll draw. So 1, 2 is a winter mask. That's another really good draw for setup. One way or another. Okay, so we should pop off. So interrogation room is probably good. We have infiltration, so we can clear the one way or another, no problem. And then lastly, we have the metal punch. This is like a super ideal hand because we have the metal punch to set up for whatever minion we want to grab, which we can grab with infiltration, which will clear. This is why the deck does what it does. So prime real estate goes to 1 threat. The text doesn't matter so far, but Enchantress's text will matter. So she's going to attack for 1 in the card. And after she attacks, we place 1 charm counter on us. So we're not going to block. This could be just 1 damage. So 1, 2 damage on Sinister Strike. So we take 2. We put our first charm counter. I use one of these green die. So once this hits 5, we flip this thing over. Encounter card. Titania's here. This is our Titania from Trickster Magic. 8 health, steady, victory 1. Her attacks get overkill. She attacks for 3. So now we have somebody to deal with here. So maybe, I think we're still in a good spot here. The player who defeated this minions puts a set-aside Titania ally into play under their control. So we just have to do 8 damage this turn. We already have 4 baked in, but we have Metal Punch, so this shouldn't be a problem at all. Okay, I'm just going to start with one way or another. Let's just go look through the deck. Maybe this is a nice way to see the encounter deck. It's just look through it constantly. So we're going to play one way or another, search the encounter deck for a side scheme. We reveal it. You don't put it into play. So when revealed, will trigger. So we're just going to try and find a side scheme that has at least like 3 threat, because we can clear 3 threat. Hopefully the text doesn't matter. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a thralled minion is discarded. I don't want to do that. Villain gains Stalwart. This one has 2 acceleration, has 4 threat on it. We can't clear that super easily. Give us something good. Enthralled minion. Maybe that's not the worst, actually. Oh, there's not that many options. Oh, this one. In expert mode, the scheme gets hinder 1. Allies cannot thwart the scheme or defend against villains' attacks. This seems perfect. This is called Puppet Master. So Puppet Master, we can put into play. We reveal it. Sorry, not put into play. It says in expert mode, this gets +1 on solo, so it's only 2 threat. It says allies cannot thwart the scheme or defend against the villain's attacks. We don't care about that. That text where allies can't defend against villains' attacks, I think this game should use a bit more, because chump blocking in this game is really quite good, and that's a nice way to slow it down. So Puppet Master's in play with only 2 threat, because we're playing standard. And now we finish resolving one way or another, so we draw 3 cards. So draw 3. We get another Metal Punch, bummer. Discharge if we want to stun, and we have Skilled Investigator. Skilled Investigator is perfect. We're going to play Skilled Investigator, because we're going to clear the side scheme. This is after a side scheme is defeated. Doesn't matter who does this, which is nice. If it required a thwart, then Winter Soldier's text wouldn't work. So we just need to knock out Titania, which we can do really easily. The way that we do it doesn't actually matter. We're going to throw out Infiltration to play Winter Mask. Now when we defeat a minion, we can draw a card. We have a really good setup. We have to spend 2 resources on this, so we can't play Interrogation Room, even though we're holding on to it. So quite ugly. Unless we wanted to spend less resources and do Electrical Discharge into Titania, so we can spend 2 and then play Interrogation Room. I'm not going to hold on to Interrogation Room for another turn. It's such a luxury card that we totally don't need. But we can play it after with Skilled Investigator, so this should be fine. Now, if we play Metal Punch, it has Overkill, which doesn't really matter, because either we do damage to exactly Titania or we do it with Winter Soldier to Enchantress, so it doesn't really matter how we do this. So I'm just going to do generate 1, and then we'll do 2, 3 into Metal Punch. So we'll do 7 damage, but we use the arm, so it does 8 damage, and it defeats Titania. She's added to the victory display, and then we go grab the Titania we have set aside, and we put her into play. That's Titania. What does she say? Titania ally? Nice. 5 health. She's linked. So this is not a deck building card. You have to play it like this. Titania's attacks gain Overkill and Piercing. So that's pretty good. She thwarts for 2, attacks for 3, but takes 2 consequential. Really good ally, obviously. And when she's defeated, she's victory 0. So she has a cost, which won't really matter here, but that's fine. Winter Soldier, we fire our ability on our hero. So we defeated a minion, so we can clear Puppet Master. This is defeated. So then we can draw a card with Skilled Investigator. We can draw a card with Winter's Mask because we defeated a minion. Nice. So we have more cards here. Okay. Yeah, I guess we finally play Interrogation Room and then float a card. I hate how many cards we're floating. We could have maybe done this slightly different where we went for the 4-cost attack, or sorry, the 2-cost attack and saved a card. But instead, I'm just going to pitch this to play Interrogation Room because I'm not going to hold on to it again. This is the one that go grabs a specialization, which is probably worth it. I think I will hold on to it as much as I don't recommend holding on to cards. And then we'll attack with a rifle to do 4 to Enchantress. Villain is down to 11. Titania, I don't think we attack for 3. I think we can keep her. Yo, SRN, hope you're having a good evening. We are. It's new Marvel Champions content in Canada. We waited 3 months for this. Hopefully you're doing well too. I think that's it. I think we'll pass. We don't want to jump down here. Having a confuse for safety would be good, but I think we'll pass. And we're closer to the Hypnotic Gaze. I'll hold on to Specialized Training. We still have, no, all our infiltrations are out. So those are all our big thwart cards. So clearing 5 off of this might be a bit difficult, but we're so set up that I'm not like really running through our deck. I think the only other setup card we want is the Helicarrier. So we get Arm Block. We can probably play that if we don't draw something else. One way or another, we almost definitely play that. Genius is fine, and Nick Fury is really good. So this is going to be a hand where we draw 7 cards, I'm pretty sure. This goes to 2. Enchantress is attacking for 1 in the card. We won't block. We could play arm block here, but I honestly don't think it's worth it. This is 4 damage. It uses our arm. Our arm, what else could we use it for? The only things we really care to play it is electrical discharge. The stun seems really good in this scenario, but we've played 3 metal punches. So there's that, not that much more in our deck. So I guess we actually will play this. So we'll use arm to generate 1, and we'll play arm block. So it says when an enemy attacks, deal 3 damage, but cybernetic arm makes it do 1 more. So we do 4 damage, and then we don't take any damage from this attack. So 1, boost on Evil Alliance is put 1 counter on Pursued by the Past. When this hits 4, we go grab our Nemesis set. So that was an attack for 1 damage. We blocked all the damage. Huzzah! This goes up to 2. Encounter card. Magical Restraints. When revealed, if your identity has a Defiant trait, yeah, we do. Choose 1, otherwise choose both. So either you're stunned, place a charm counter on the enchantment, or you were confused, place a charm counter. We choose to be confused. And our charm counters now tick up. So we're currently at 3. When this hits 5, it'll flip over. We'll figure out what the text on the back is. Okay, it's back to us. We have no minions. Actually, maybe confused was bad here, because we want to clear the side scheme. Yeah, let's go for stun, because there's no minions in front of us. And we're going to go grab a side scheme that's going to... Oh, no, it's going to put a minion in play with us. I think the side scheme we're going to get is going to grab a minion. So we'll do confuse. We're hoping to not get the quick strike one, but we'll find out. We'll play one way or another. So search and counter deck and discard pile for a side scheme, reveal it. We have a lot of ways to clear side schemes. Not too many options in the deck so far. This is the Villain Gain Star Ward. It has 4 threat. We'll just go for that one. The Trickster Tango. So this goes into play. 4 threat, 2 acceleration. Oh, no, we have to go for the one with the minion. No, this is not right. I'm realizing we need the one with the minion. Oh, we could go Spellbound. No, because we took for the Confuse, we have to go for the minion one. So when revealed, discard cards. We'll do this one. Law of Attraction. So when revealed, discard cards from the top of the counter deck until a Thralled minion is put into play. We are hoping that we get the one that has guard, not the one that has quick strike, because quick strike will put us closer to Hypnotic Gaze. That's it. And we reveal the minion. So we're going to be discarding in just a moment. So we'll cut and we'll discard until we find a minion. Oh, is it an enthralled minion or any minion? It's an enthralled minion. Okay, actually, wow. Absorbing Man is an enthralled minion. So there's some synergy here. So Absman is back. Wait, we might not have the damage for this guy. Absorbing Man, Trickster Magic. I didn't realize these were enthralled typed. I thought only the ones from the set were enthralled. Guard, 7 health, victory. While Absman is engaged with you, he gets +X attack, where X is the printed cost of the highest cost card you control. So he has 4 attack. And then when defeated, you go grab Absman and put him into play. We have exactly 7 damage, so we can defeat Absman, no problem. And we're going to be drawing a lot of cards. Okay. So. Wait, we can't play Nick Fury? Did we do the ordering wrong here? Oh no, we're meant to draw 3 cards with one way or another. I'm like, why don't we have enough cards? 1, perfect. 2, 3. Great. We're just going to spend 4 on Nick Fury. When Nick Fury enters play, you can draw 3 cards, or you can do damage. I'm just going to draw 3 cards. We're going to set up a whole deck. Here we want to find, I think all that else we want is the Helicarrier and the Raft. So we'll draw 1, 2, 3. Silent Infiltration is actually really good here. So now we need to knock off Absman, which will clear this, which will draw 2 cards. Everything happens. This is not, I think we're going to have this one under control. So I think we're just going to play Silent Infiltration out of hand. Because when we defeat a minion, we ready ourselves and we confuse Enchantress, which means we can jump down. So I'm going to discard Wiccan and Arm Block for Silent Infiltration. So after you defeat a minion, we can discard this to ready and confuse, which is perfect. We will attack with our rifle. So we're attacking for 4. So 5, 6, 7 goes down to 3. Cool. Oh, we need to defeat it. So sorry, we should have attacked with Titania first. And then we will attack, which will finish off Absman. So Absman is defeated. So we have a couple triggers here. A lot of triggers happening in order. So I don't know if the order of this actually matters, whether they're prescribed or not. But when defeated, the player who defeats this grabs Absorbing Man. puts into play. So we just built a whole deck of minions. Again, defeating stuff is really good for us. Absman now says 3 health linked. When absorbing man attacks or thwarts, exhaust, an upgrade, or support you control, Absman gets plus X to the power of the use, where X is that card's printed cost and can only activate twice. We don't have any expensive things that we don't exhaust ourselves, so not the best. This goes into the victory display, so it's not coming back. Then we do all our triggers. Winter Soldier removes 2 threat from a card. We clear this. When this is cleared, we can draw a card with Skilled Investigator. We defeated a minion. We draw a card with Winter Mask. You can fire Silent Investigator. Silent Infiltration, sorry. After you defeat an enemy, ready your hero and confuse. None of these are thwart cards, mind you, so also we don't care about confuse. Oh, fudge. I just spilled some coffee. Give me 1 second. No! This is why we use sleeves. 1 second. Yeah, we have some coffee right behind this. I don't know if you can see how much of a mess I've made. It's not that bad. It's okay. It's medium bad. I need to drink this faster for that reason. What other triggers we have? I think we just have to do interrogation room, and that's all our triggers. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna grab like a towel thing, and I'll be right back. Okay. Almost did it again. So there's going to be 1 confused token that just has coffee on it. How far did it go? Okay, not too bad. So we got to rebuild this. So this is fine. I shouldn't have looked at the back, but I don't know what the back actually does, so that's fine. Yeah, seems fine. Winter Soldier, bit wet, but fine. Okay, so where were we? This is on 3. This is ready now. This is here. We can fire interrogation room. So this reduces to 1. And I think that was all our triggers. So now we still have this many cards in hand, and we have a confuse, so we can jump down. Let me just catch my breath. Now your game will spell nice and be extra stimulating for gaming. I mean, I'm wide awake now, that's for sure. I don't know if there's a better way to do the microphone because it's always in the way of something. It's usually my drink, but worst case scenario, it's in front of like a really important upgrade. Okay. So we've triggered almost everything on our board, which is really perfect. And we still have all these cards in our hand. So we can just set up the winter armor. We can set up one of these side schemes. At this point, I think we're going to go for the specialized training just because I think we got most of our upgrades in our deck. She's confused, so we can jump down, no problem. These cards are not doing anything. Absman, what do you... It's only an upgrade or support. Is it any card? Upgrade or support you control. So the most we can give him right now is +1, which doesn't seem like a good use of his ability. So we could actually use the armor. So let's try that. We'll spend 2 on winter armor. I'm just going to put it back here because it's one of these cards that doesn't really have text. Winter armor gives us +3 health. So we recover 3. We're at 12. We could go up to 14. And we have steady. I'm surprised we haven't seen any stun or confuse. That really seems like Enchantress would be doing some of that, but maybe we just haven't seen enough yet. I'm just going to pay the other card to play specialized training. This has 5 threat, and we can clear it. We can go grab a specialization. Okay, we will attack for 2. She's down. Fury will attack for 2. She's down 2. Absman will attack for 1. And then we'll exhaust Winter Armor for 3. And wait, that advances her. Let's not do that, actually. Because I think when you advance her, she probably gets steady. Now, what's really unfortunate here is when we have Nick Fury, I don't love jumping down. Because when you jump down, Nick Fury doesn't chump block for you. And chump block here seems really quite nice. We could use Absman to threat for 3. Let's do that instead. So we'll threat for 3. Just so that this is 1 activation away from clearing it. I think that's it. Do we jump down? Yeah, why not? I don't think we need the Nick Fury block. The Confuse is fine. We're not going to deck out. Yeah, we'll just jump down. Then we can use Safe House next turn. We could even use it right now if we wanted to, but we'll just pass. So everything ready's up. And we draw 6. Captain Britain. Maybe we'll play him. Helicarrier means we probably won't play Captain Britain. Sonic Rifle we don't need. The Raft we do want to get down. We have our second Silent Infiltration and a Clear the Area. So Clear the Area is totally playable here because of 2 threat, but I think we're going to get a minion, so we don't have to worry about it. This goes to 2. Enchantress doesn't activate. Mind you, she only attaches counters or adds counters when she attacks, so staying in alter ego seems powerful. And hey, we don't actually need a minion here. It's Cinder. 4 attack is massive, but it's an indirect damage attack. When revealed, if your identity is Defiant, we are. Cinder activates against you. If your identity is Enthralled, give Cinder a tough status card. That's cool. So Cinder activates, but because we're in alter ego, Cinder just schemes for 1. So this goes to 3, and that's it. Nick Fury leaves. Okay. Cool. So we only have 4 damage in her hand. We don't really need to do Safe House, but we could, but I don't think we actually need to do that. This could be another Silent Infiltration turn, but the other thing we want to set up is maybe Helicarrier. We could also dump our whole hand into Captain Britain, who will do a good job softening up Cinder. 3 damage to Cinder means we knock Cinder out with Winter Rifle, no problem, and then we do all our triggers. That's okay. Cinder only has 1 scheme, so I don't really think we need a Raft. Cinder? But maybe this is just a Captain Britain angle, and then we hold on to the Raft after, because we're going to draw 1, 2 cards, and so that we can play the Raft. That might be fine. We have no more doubles left in our deck, so we can't hold on to Helicarrier. We only have 2 cards left over. None of them are doubles. So yeah, I'm not going to hope to draw a double. So I think we'll just jump up here with 4 resources. We'll play Captain Britain. Comes in with 3 health. Captain Britain will attack a minion, so it takes 1 fewer consequential, so doing 3 damage to Cinder. Then we will attack with Winter Soldier using the rifle, so it's 4 damage piercing and range, so we defeat Cinder. And then we have our Cascading Trigger Festival. So firstly, Winter Soldier will clear 2 threat off of Specialized Training. That just does count as a side scheme, or because there's a player side scheme. And when defeated, we search for a specialization. We're just going to go for the attack one, because of course we are. Is this coffee wet? No, not really. It's Combat Specialist. So this thing comes in, it gives us +1 attack. I'm going to mark that with this +1 red die. I think that's easier to read than the buttons we've been using. And after we do a basic attack, we can exhaust this to draw a card. It's also a 2-cost upgrade on turns with Absman, but that shouldn't matter too much. What else do we have to do? We have to exhaust Winter Mask to draw a card. We do Discharge, that's fine. We can exhaust Interrogation Room to do 1 here. And then we can exhaust Skilled Investigator, which draws our last card, which we deck out. So this goes here. And we shuffle the deck. Cool. Cool. So we actually could go for the Electrical Discharge instead and get a stun. And with the stun, Enchantress doesn't attack us. We'll advance Enchantress 2, which I do think she is steady. So the stun won't actually work. Not like super effectively. But that's probably fine. Otherwise we can play the Raft, but I don't think we actually need the Raft. I think we're in probably like striking distance. Like if we draw just 2 metal punches, I think we win the game. I can't imagine Enchantress 2 having that much health. I really think it's a bummer that if we win before we see the back of Hypnotic Gaze, but I mean, it's incentivizing us to do it. Like stun seems good. Confuse seems good. Okay, so I will just spend 1, 2 on Electrical Discharge. We fired his kicker because we used a wild. So this does 5 damage and stuns the enemy. So actually, if that's the case, we should advance her first by hand. So let's attack for 3 with Tatiana so we don't waste any damage. And that should knock out Enchantress. So the villain takes 3 and we go to Enchantress 2. Enchantress 2. 16 health, only 1 more. Steady and toughness. Okay, so the toughness is a bit annoying. So maybe we don't actually do the discharge. Which has steady, so that's what we thought would happen. When revealed in standard mode, put the set aside Future of Despair into play. Oh, I forgot about that. What does that do? Then place an additional 3 threat on it. Okay, that's Future of Despair. Force responds after Enchantress attacks, you place 1 charm counter on the enchantment in play. Now she attacks slightly harder. Future of Despair now, it says put into play and put 3 additional threat on it. So Future of Despair, it was set aside at the beginning. She gains Stalwart and cannot take damage. Whoa. And when revealed, place 1 charm counter on each enchantment in play. So we are hitting our 5 next turn. So it looks like it's hard to avoid it because you always are going to advance this side. So this is 5 threat and she can't take damage now. So that's not great. The toughness is annoying for obvious reasons. We in theory could use Vivian to blank this, which doesn't really change that much. Vivian can blank non-elite minions. She can blank attachments and she can blank side schemes, non-permanent side schemes, which this is non-permanent side scheme. But I think we just pitch 2 for the raft. The raft is now in play, so we can start wrangling up some minions that we find desirable. And I think that's it. Absman could, in theory, thwart for a bit, but we can always chump block with Absman. I think we really want Absman to attack for, I don't know what our most expensive card is. It's probably Helicarrier, if not Winter Rifle. So Absman could thwart here for 3, which is not enough to clear Future of Despair. I think we'll wait until we draw another minion, or sorry, ally, and we'll pass. Okay, that's everything. We have a lot of cards. We'll drop. First, Prof X and one way or another. Good combination. Infiltration, so we can clear just about anything, clear the area. And then we have a strength. So this hand is pretty easy to play. This goes to 3. Let me just shift over. I think all my cards are too far to the left. Cool. Organization, super important. All right, she's attacking for 2 and a card. I don't think we're blocking here. I don't think we have a good reason to block. We could chump block with an ally, but I don't think it matters. I think we're very healthy. We'll just take it. So 1, 2, 3 damage. But now the exciting thing is this hits 5 Hypnotic Gaze. And now the text matters. This Hypnotic Gaze says, if there are 5 or more charm counters, remove each charm counter and flip this card over. The back of this says Trance of Sloth. Cool. So these I think have forced abilities on them, which are new. These forced actions are new to this these standalones. Forced actions you have to do before you end your turn. So we're required to exhaust this card at some point during our turn to heal a damage from Enchantress, draw a card, and then discard a card. That is actually pretty good. I don't think that's bad text. Healing 1 health is not super impactful, but cycling your hand is actually really impactful. When revealed, you are stunned. Otherwise, place 2 threat on the main scheme. How did we get rid of our confused? Oh, we were confused. We got rid of that with the coffee, so I'm glad we caught that. But when revealed, you are stunned, so we're stunned and confused. But we are steady, so these don't actually do anything yet. Okay, so this is now here. What's important is prime real estate. Now its text might matter. It says when a charm counter will be placed on an enchantment card in your player, if your identity is enthralled, and we are enthralled, we place a threat here instead. So we just have to watch out. Now this will accelerate a bit faster. All right, 2 encounter cards. Now we are enthralled, so the text gets a bit more interesting. Trickster Tango. We almost grabbed this. We decided not to, so now it's back. 4 threat, 2 accelerations. Villain gains Stalwart. That's fine. We have a lot of threat to deal with. Next card. I wanted a minion, but instead we have spell shards. When revealed, take 3 indirect damage. If your identity took any amount of damage this way, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in your play area. Does that matter? Oh, it puts threat instead. So I think we just take 3 damage because if we assign it to any of our minions, they die, and that's not great. And we could assign all 3 to all of these 3, but then it's just 1 threat, so I don't think that's worth it. So we'll just take 3 indirect. If we took any amount of damage, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment area. It's not for each damage, as if you took any damage, so that's totally fine. If you take 1, might as well take 3, I guess. We're at 6 health, so maybe we should jump down here. And then the text on prime real estate says, when a charm counter would be placed, we put a threat here instead. So it replaces it. Yeah, so this is that 4 of 6. All right, things are kicking up. This is where we should be starting if we were playing on expert, and this seems like a fun place to start. So it's back to us. We are half stunned, half confused. That doesn't matter. But the biggest thing is we have a lot of threat to deal with. She cannot take damage. And 2 accelerations is game-losingly bad. So let's figure this one out. Observing Man is going to thwart for 3. That's for sure. Captain Britain only takes 1 consequential when thwarting a side scheme, so that's also really good. I think we're going to try and get a minion here. I think we are going to play Infiltration. I don't think we need to play one way or another. I think we have enough stuff going on for us, and our hand is like hyper playable. So I think the line is we do one way or another on clear the area to draw a card. That card plays infiltration, but we clear something we draw with skilled investigator. Yeah, I think we start here. Actually, maybe we could play one way or another because it can easily grab a minion, and we don't mind getting a minion here. Because I think one of the last schemes that we have in the deck just puts a minion engaged with you. We've seen 3 of the big enthralled minions, but I think we're set up to deal with enthralled minions. So I think we just always play one way or another. It's just that good. So we'll play it. I'm just going to put it here to remember. Search the encounter deck and discard pile first scheme and put into play. Again, we don't have to get rid of this one. It doesn't do anything. It just means we can't do damage. So we have Spellbound. When defeated, each player who has the enthralled discards a card they control. That's totally fine. Otherwise, we have when reveal, discard cards until enthralled minion is discarded. We kind of want to get a minion, so this is how we get a minion. Law of Attraction. All right, only 2 threat, which clears really easily. We are Justice deck. Discard cards from the top of the deck until you have an enthralled minion. So we still have, I think, like 2 or 3 small ones, and then I think maybe 1 or 2 big ones. So let's see what we get here. Could be guard, could be quick strike. I think the guard is the best one for us because it's like 4 health, which is kind of perfect. All right, discarding. Spell Blast, Magical Restraints. Oh, okay, there's more big ones. I have not seen this one. Oh, this one is not enthralled, so we keep discarding this one. This was Ulik, who's, again, not enthralled. I'm doing a really ugly job at this discards thing, but we're getting through the deck. Okay, we got the quick strike one. Oh, actually really scary. Because this actually will put threat on prime real estate, so we're very close to being in a really bad spot. So we might have wanted to threat first. So this is enthralled lackey. Quick strike, so it's attacking for 1, and after this minion attacks, you place 1 charm counter on the enchantment you play in your play area. We can't do that, so this goes to 5 of 6. So we have a threat issue, but we'll just take 1 damage, no problem. And then we draw 3 cards with one way or another. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is good. Black Widow, do we have Black Widow's team up? We don't, but we have Electrical Discharge. But she is technically steady and stalwart, so great. All right, a lot of options in her hand. Oh, we were going to get another minion by doing infiltration. So I think this is a turn where we want a preparation to ready us, but we don't have it. So I think we need to knock this out. Issues, we have no attack events. I guess we could play Black Widow and get an attack event, and Black Widow we can knock out Enthralled Lackey. That's probably for the best. I think that's how we start this turn. Yeah, I think we have to play Black Widow here. So I'm going to not play the Helicarrier. We'll do, firstly, I guess we have to use these. So Absman will thwart. We're going to use Exhaust the Armor. So Absorbing Man adds the threat, or adds the cost, Absorbing Man, of whatever we exhaust here. So we're going to be thwarting, I think, for 3. Yeah, so we'll drop this to 1. Defeated. Has victory 0, so it's not going into our deck. That's fine. I guess we can clear Trickster Tango first, but it will be cleared by Skilled Investigator. So I don't think we really need to do that. The question is whether we have to fire clear the area. It would take me a second to figure out the math of whether we do or not. But I think I just wanted to play 1, 2, 3 for Black Widow. Black Widow draws our attack card. We play our attack card cheaply with the arm. Yeah, I think we're still in a good spot. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. It might be right that we want to play clear the area here first, but we'll just play Black Widow. Black Widow says when you play her, go grab an attack event from your discard pile. We'll go grab our Electrical Discharge. She has 3 health. Titania has overkill, but we need to defeat the minion, which is why I think here we use 1 from the arm. We throw out Prof X and we play Electrical Discharge here. Electrical Discharge now does 5 damage and stuns, but we don't care about the stun so much. We did defeat the Enthralled Lackey. So Lackey is defeated, and now we fire all our triggers, and our triggers here are going to be pushing us forward pretty heavily. So firstly, Winter Soldier's ability, we can clear 2 threat. So we'll clear 2 threat off of this, clearing it. So we have a couple pending triggers. Oh, mind you, we can clear put Enthralled Lackey on the raft, which we will. So the raft says after you defeat a minion, you can tuck it underneath here and remove scheme equal to its, or threat equal to scheme. We'll clear 2 from that. So that's that. Winter Mask can draw a card. Nice. Skilled Investigator, we cleared a side scheme, can draw a card. An Interrogation Room, we can remove 1 threat, so we'll clear this. So yeah, we definitely should have played one way or another, because obviously we're still flying through this turn. Captain Britain will thwart for 3 off of this. cleared it. This does go into the discard pile. It doesn't have victory on it, so that might show up again. We're here, so she does still have steady. We have a lot of damage, but we have to do a lot of threat work here as well. So I think we'll just use Black Widow to drop this down to 3. It's gaining 2 a turn, so if we draw in advance, it's just going to go through no matter what. Can we get that down lower? I guess we kind of can. Not easily. This toughness is really annoying. Does she have piercing? She has overkill and piercing. Okay, so Titania is going to attack for 3 with piercing, and that's just going to knock out Enchantress's toughness, and she'll take 3, and she's knocked out. Because now we have big damage we can throw her way. I think we're not going to sweat this. Because clear the area doesn't go through. So now we're going to attack for 1, 2, 3. We'll use the rifle, so that's 5. Oh, this also had piercing, so whatever. Villain takes 5 here. Down to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We draw a card with combat specialist. We grab clear the area. Oh, I 100% need to remember that we have to do this. I'll put this up here because I was going to forget it. So we'll do Trance of Sloth. In theory, we should have done this before any attack because she was at full health. So I'm going to do this before we do any of our attacks. I can't do that because we drew with combat specialist, but this we should have done while she was at full health because healing is not part of the cost. So we'll exhaust this card. We'll have to do this force thing. So we heal 1 damage from her. So she goes up to 9. I think we still win this turn though. Draw a card, then discard a card. So we get our full information. This honestly might be worth playing. Nah, it's fine. I think we have lethal here. I think if we did in the other order, we would definitely have won. I think we scuffed 1 damage, which actually might matter, but I'm not sure it does. No, we have lethal. So we do 1, 2, 3 for Metal Punch. This does 7 damage to her. And then, of course, we do 1, 2 for Electrical Discharge. That does 4 more. Cool. -2. Got there. Huge turn. Super explosive. We knocked out a minion. We did a whole bunch of damage. We did 16 damage in a single turn. Again, our allies are really good. This card tax actually helps us. I don't think it hurts us, but we had such a good setup. And you can see how all these Justice cards work together. I think we should be definitely playing on Expert, but I'm glad that we saw the setup. So I think we're just going to shuffle this up and do it again on Expert and see how much harder it is. Because then we get to see Enchantress 3, which is cool. Justice Bucky. Yo, Matthew, how's it going? Yes, Justice Bucky is like just good, fun, consistent. I do think we should maybe be considering playing 3 copies of one way or another because it with Infiltration is just so absurdly good. I mean, coming in on the victory lap, yeah, we kind of walked through that relatively safely, but we'll try it again. And then after that, we'll play Loki, which I'm looking forward to. Yo, Andrew, I'm here when you're live again. Welcome. We've been streaming later on Sundays because it's just been working out that way. And so far, it's been a nice treat for a Sunday evening. This we got on Friday, mind you, and so I haven't touched it. I was waiting to play this, and I'm so excited we finally get to it, let alone live on stream. All right, let's try it again. Should be a fair bit harder when we're starting with all this stuff to deal with, but that was not that bad at all. Okay, I'm going to put this one aside. At the beginning of the game, you're meant to randomly pick one of the hypnotic gazes. I'm just going to remove this one because we've played it with it before, so it's not full random. We're going to be forcing our hand towards one of these. It's hard to justify less than 3x one way or another. Yeah, it's like one of those cards that you're not happy to draw it when you play one way or another. I do think the designers might have learned, similar to... No, which card says that limit once per round? Taunt, you can play as many as you can in a single turn, right? Like Taunt also seems like one of those cards that should have only play 1 per round. Are there any cards in this game that say limit 1 per round on an event? Because this does feel like one of the cards that should say limit 1 per round. Because on the final turn, as long as there's no, like, your side scheme stops you from hurting them, you can just play every single copy of this that draws every single copy of this and then just be up like +6 cards and then just send it into the villain. Which sometimes doesn't matter. Like it kind of didn't here. All right, we'll set this up for Expert. Expert cards go in. We have to put these back in. So we have Specialized Training in our deck. Absman and Titania are back. Real fun surprise when we learned that those were lackeys or enthralled cards. This should go to 1. And I think we are going to start by grabbing the set aside scheme, which I forget its name. Future of Despair. I think this starts on the table. If not, we'll remove it. All right, round 2, fight. Let's just clean up. I think one way or another feels so busted to me, but that's mostly because I play solo. I'm interested to see how it plays on 2 or 3 players, because I do think that was mentioned in chat as like being a big change with that card is how many players are in the game. All right, so set up again, prime real estate. It says, oh, hold on. Set the Future of Despair card as a side out of play. Attach a random gaze. All right, chat, give me a number between 1 and 4. If we don't give me a number, I'll roll a die. And I won't feel bad about it. Villain has 16 health. We have 11. But 1 to 4, if you want to throw a number my way. I tried the first time. I didn't get a number. It doesn't feel bad. It's okay. You can watch. You don't have to be in chat all the time. And then we'll set the remaining ones aside out of play. 2, Jalen Horn, thank you. This is our Hypnotic Gaze. You can tell this one, it hasn't been touched by coffee, so it's like very, very intimidating. Sick. So the deck also got harder. We got more boost cards in there. We got the expert cards, which are genuinely a bummer when you draw them. Feel bad. It's so weird. The card that just says Surge, draw the next card. It feels like you draw 3 encounter cards. Obviously, you didn't. You just drew 2 encounter cards. It just says like add Surge to the next card. But emotionally, it feels so damaging. It's hard to get over that one. I drew 3 encounter cards this round. We flip this over. We haven't seen the second scheme, but I'm imagining we will here because our margins are a fair bit thinner. So same stuff, 1 threat, 6 to advance. However, that's it. This one doesn't change his text. Enchantress's text changes. Not only is she hitting a bit harder, not only does she start with steady and toughness, and steady actually really matters because stunning her means her text doesn't matter. When revealed in standard mode, put the set aside Future of Despair into play. Oh, so we don't do that. Oh, so you don't start with this. I have never seen text like that. In standard mode do this, in expert mode don't do this. So that's to ensure that when you advance, it comes into play. Oh, that's really, really cool. So force response after Enchantress attacks, you place 1 charm counter. Okay, so it's the same setup functionally. She just has slightly better numbers. Okay, not a huge difference. There are some limit 1 per player cards or limit 1 per deck cards. Oh yeah, there's a lot of like unique cards, but events, besides the events that are unique, I don't know if there's cards that say you can only play 1 per round. Yeah, only hero ally abilities are gated to 1 per round. I'm surprised. There must be an event that says limit to only 1 per round. Maybe I'm making that up. It seems like I've seen that by now, but maybe not. All right, let's go for a mulligan. We want to set up. We had a really good setup last time. We can get our hand no matter what. Our arm, it's easy to get. ANR? Yeah, I guess. Does ANR have limit 1 per round? No, they don't. Do they? Are we seeing Android Netrunner? First card, Sonic Rifle. This card probably shouldn't be in the deck. We haven't played one. I'm going to put it in the no category. It's very expensive. Energy, we almost always keep one of those to set up. Vivian, she doesn't really have text now. Having a 2-cost blocker is not the worst thing, but it's better when she has text. We haven't seen a lot of attachments, but I swear they're in the deck. Clear the area. There's 1 threat on the table. I don't think we keep that. Metal Punch, not super necessary. We're not going to keep that. And so this looks like a much worse mulligan. We don't keep defense cards. Keeping a defense card gives you down a hand size. I'm going to full mulligan here, and hopefully for some upgrades or supports we can set up on turn 1. Clear the area. Okay, well, I mean, maybe this card shouldn't be in the deck because we're good at clearing threat. Infiltration, we would love it one way or another. The deck should be on 3. I really should change the second Sonic Rifle to a one way or another. I'm actually going to do that before we get deep into the deck. Give me 1 second. Yeah, Arkham has a whole bunch of them. And like some of them were added post in like errata, which like I think they learned. Even there's a lot of skill cards in Arkham that say limit 1 per round. And that is, again, a balancing thing. Okay, so the second Sonic Rifle, I'm going to replace with this because I think we learned that this card's that good. So whenever we draw the second Sonic Rifle, I'll just swap it out with that. 4. Widow, bad. Sick, nailed it. This is out of the game. And then 6, Infiltration. So this hand is entirely predicated on the fact that one way or another is goofy good. And ideally when we play it, we'll be able to clear the thing with Infiltration, let alone ourselves, and clear the area. So we're in a good spot. We can go get a minion and should be good. Wait, did we mess it up last game? I think we messed it up. We got a side scheme into play when we were in Alter Ego. I think we played one way or another in Alter Ego last game. Because I remember we grabbed a minion, but we were in Alter Ego, so we didn't care about the quick strike. I think we goofed as soon as turn 1 in the last game. Win, asterisk, asterisk. Man, playing live sometimes does that to you. But yeah, this is a hero action, so we have to flip up. Speaking of flip up, I'll get rid of Infiltration to use our Alter Ego ability before we flip up, and I'll go grab our arm, because we're down here, we might as well. If you're not familiar, if you're just tuning in, our cybernetic arm gives us a wild resource to make a thing do 1 more damage, which is good. That's in here. We'll flip up. Bucky is now the Winter Soldier, so we're just going to play one way or another, and we're going to go search for a side scheme through the deck. So why do we shuffle this? I don't know. Let's go find something we want. So the cards that we could get here, this one gets a minion engaged with you. That's pretty good. That is the most damage we can do on this turn is 2. So maybe we don't get that one. I guess we are drawing 3 more cards, so we can maybe do more than 2 damage. With Black Widow, if we play Black Widow, we have Metal Punch. Okay, so we're good. I think we do take this one. Because this one has a chance of drawing one of the big minions, and the big minions are really good for us because they'll give us minions, or allies, more accurately. So we're going to go for Law of Attraction here. We have to resolve it before we draw our 3 cards. I'm going to put this here so we remember. Law of Attraction says, when revealed, discard cards from the top of the counter deck. I'm assuming you finished this shuffle before. There was some cursed rules in Netrunner at one point in time where you didn't resolve the shuffle. When you pulled a card that had text, you had to resolve this before shuffling. So in theory, you could look at the deck, see the top enthralled minion, and then fire it. I want to say, for those who know the rules of this game a bit more diligently, let me know if you shuffled before. I'm hoping you do. But it says shuffled in counter deck, but it says it after. Anyways, we're going to discard for an enthralled minion. Nailed it. Same thing that we had last time. 8 damage is a lot, but I think we're actually set up for Titania here. So it's Titania. If we destroy her, she becomes our friend. That's just how friendship works. If you can ruin them in battle, they will become your #1 fan. There's an FAQ to fix shuffling. Oh, they actually had to fix it? All right, so steady victory, that doesn't matter. She has overkill, and when defeated, she becomes our friend. One way or another resolves, we draw 3 cards. Nick Fury is going to fix this hand one way or another. 3. All right, hypothesis continuing its text. It's testing. Do we keep going? Do we go even deeper into the one way or another? Right now, how do we defeat with Titania? We're attacking for 4. We don't have to play Infiltration here, so we could spend 4 for Nick Fury, draw 3. When we have 3 more cards in our hand, we can play those 3 for Black Widow, and then we have to get lucky that we draw an attack event. I'm okay living in that world. So I think we do another one way or another here, and we grab another minion. No. Maybe. What was the text on the one that had 2 threat on it? It had expert text, so I think in expert it won't have 2 threat on it. Let's draw with Nick Fury first. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. We could just clear the area with this, but we're hoping to defeat Titania to deal with it. So we'll play Nick Fury here. And we'll just draw 3 cards. Now we could... Wait, do we have the cards to do it? I think we have to play one way or another. I think there's no way around it. So hold on. I think we have to play one way or another here. Because if we play Nick Fury, we get 3 cards. 3 cards play Black Widow. Yeah, then we can defeat Titania perfectly. Let's just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Nick. Nick Fury will draw 3 cards. 1, it's Captain Britain. 2, it's the safe house. 3, it's our rifle. Okay. So playing the rifle also gives us a bit more reach, but I don't think we can afford to do it unless we play one way or another. We play one way or another. We go up 3 more cards. How many doubles are left in the deck? 2 doubles are left in the deck. If we play our rifle, we still only have 1 attack event in the bin. The other way is that we play 3 for Black Widow. Black Widow plus 2 cards play our big fist, which knocks out Titania. Titania clears Law of Attraction, and then we just like swing into face. That's fine. But on the other hand, yeah, we'll just keep going. One more or another. Let's look at 3. Oh no, this one does say max 1 per round. This card actually has the text we're looking for. So they did figure it out. Okay, whoa. I'm glad we checked the text. This one does have max 1 per round on it. Taunt doesn't. Okay, so they figured it out. You can't just go, did we play 2 in the same turn last game? Is everything we built on a house of lies? I think it is. I think we played 2 one way or another's last game. And they were like, standard is so easy. All right, well, we still have a line here. 1, 2, 3. It's Black Widow. So embarrassed. Black Widow, we can go grab an attack event from our discard pile, add it to our hand. We're going to grab the only option, surprisingly, which is our... Oh, no, we have an arm block, but we'll grab Metal Punch. And then we'll just send the Metal Punch. We're going to spend 1, 2 plus our arm. So this does 7 damage plus 1 because we spent our arm. So 8 damage knocks out Titania. She adds herself to the victory display. And then the friends were those that we met along the way or whatever. Titania ally, 5 attack. She's going to exhaust. Attack for 3, taking 2 consequential, but her attack has overkill and piercing, which is perfect. And mind you, we defeated a minion, so we can clear 2 threat, which clears Law of Attraction. Black Widow and Nick Fury are going to both go towards the face, and then we're going to go towards the face. Cool. That's it. Failed the syntax on my speech, on my search. Wait, I'm not sure. Then we'll draw. Another metal punch, big damage, discharge. She does have steady. Winter armor, strength. There's the double we wanted. There's a discharge. So this hand is like very Winter Soldier heavy. We could do 2 discharges to like beat steady, which is fine. This goes to 2, and then Enchantress is attacking for 2 and a card. We're gonna block with Nick Fury because he's leaving. It's 2 damage. Dark Designs puts 1 on Pursued by the Past when it hits 4. And then after she activates or attacks, we put 1 on Hypnotic Gaze. Encounter card. Give us something interesting. Oh, maybe 2 interesting, honestly. Evil Alliance. The reason why you play Standard 3 is because you can't draw your Nemesis minion on turn 1, but that hasn't stopped us yet. Evil Alliance plays 3 threat on Pursued by the Past. It hits 4. We get our Nemesis minion on turn 1. Achievement unlocked. That's incredible. It's Crossbones. It's our Nemesis coming in with 5 health and Quick Strike. It's going to have more attack in just a second, but not now. So after Crossbone attacks and defeats an ally, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So we're just going to take 2 to the face. Obvious reasons. Then we're going to play Hydra Hit Squad, which has more than 2 threat on it, which they kind of saw us coming. So this has 3 threat on it. It says each Hydra minion gets +2 hit points, so we're up on 7, and +1 attack. So technically now Crossbones attacks for 3. When defeated, the player who defeated the scheme searches and counter deck and discard pile for a Hydra minion, and we're adding 2 small Hydra minions that both have guard. They're the regular Hydra mercenaries from, I want to say, the core set. So that's nice for us. Actually, having small minions is good. There's several 1 per round cards in Marvel. I think we found one of them. It was in our deck, and we added a 3rd copy. That's back to us. So honestly, not that bad. Welcome aboard. Leadership Event Venom 27 Avengers Assemble Blades of Glory. Deleted. I recognize some of those card names, but yeah, the formatting got away from you on that one. All right, so this is just going to be sending damage, which is totally fine. Give me 1 second. I don't think we have the ability to do the doubles. How rules messy was our first game? Probably a bit. So I think we're just going to go ahead and knock out Crossbones with a single metal punch and then set up 1 armor and call it a day. Welcome aboard. Avengers Assemble. Okay, hold on. Welcome aboard. What is that? Max 1 per round. Rescue. Reduce the risk cost of the next ally played this phase by 2. Why is that limit 1 per round? That's limit 1 per round? This card is functionally a resource card. Why is it 1 per round? Oh, because it also helps your allies, right? It's not necessarily you who does it. You could use this. There's a bunch of cards that I'm only realizing how much cooler they are when you play multiplayer. Because like we played Nebula on stream just a couple days ago, right? A couple weeks ago. And we had such a good time. But then realizing one of the cool things with Nebula is that if you're the second player, you can play your thing that says fire all of your, what's it called? Your techniques on your teammate's turn before it becomes your turn and you're forced to do the forced response, which is so cool. That makes Nebula way more consistent because you know if you're going to be the second player, you can set up all your techniques and not lose them before you get that card in your hand, the Deft Focus or whatever it's called, Deft something. It's not called that. That's really, really cool. So yeah, I guess that card's a bit more interesting in multiplayer. They're all leadership cards. Whoa. I would have been totally surprised by that fact. All right, 1, 2, 3. It's a metal punch. You know it. Down goes Crossbones. So 8 damage into Crossbones. We take 2 threat off of this. Titania can thwart a couple times. The text on Hydra Hit Squad is not super relevant, so we won't clear it. I think we're just going to spend... We could play Electrical Discharge to get half a stun, but our deck is... These are the only stun cards in our whole deck, so it's not going to be super relevant. So I'll just set up Winter Armor. So we get steady and plus 4 health. 3 health, excuse me. We haven't seen Stun or Confuse. Oh no, we did see a fair bit of Stun and Confuse so far. Black Widow will just keep this in check. Again, this doesn't matter. We'll clear it when it shows up, let alone we want to wait until we get our skilled investigator, and then we'll just attack for 2. Down to 5, we'll pass. We could block here with Black Widow. I don't think we have to. We have so much health. Here's the raft. There's our mask. Wake in. Superpower training, that can get us our rifle, which we probably want to prioritize. And then we have an arm block, which with this hand, we might as well play arm block because we have no other way to use our cybernetic arm. So this goes to 1. Enchantress is attacking for 2 and a card. We'll for free player arm block. We should do the math here. Yeah, that means we can play Winter Mask and Superpower Training. So that'll be our whole turn. So we're going to take no damage because we played arm block. The villain takes 4 damage because we boosted the damage with arm. So down to 1 health, and we don't take 3 damage plus the text on this, which is a boost icon. Choose to either place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in your area or confuse your identity. I think we're okay getting confused. We're steady. So we take no damage, but we have to place 1 charm counter on our hypnotic gaze. Who knows what that box holds? It could be a boat. Trickster Tango. The Trickster Tango. Don't get that mixed up. 4 threat. The villain gains stalwart. That's fine. 2 acceleration icons, a bit less fine, but we'll deal with it. This is actually a very sleepy turn. We might not deal with it. Yo, Paul, how's it going? Loving the chill evening streams. Good way to hang out and beat the Sunday scaries. Yo, hopefully the Sunday scaries aren't too bad. I feel you on that though. It's a nice little hangout on Sunday nights. Glad you can be part of it. Okay, let's go. So, mask superpower training is good. I think we'll start thwarting with Titania. We need to clear this because clearing this is like clearing 3 threat. So pretty useful. We are not exhausted, but we are confused. If we advance Enchantress, we go to Enchantress 3, which I do not know what the text on that is. So I'm not going to risk it there. I think we're just going to get rid of our confuse because I don't know what else we're going to do with this. Okay. Titania, we'll thwart for 2. Black Widow will be defeating, thwarting for 2. Clearing the Tango. And then we'll just set up a bit. We'll play Winter Mask. Well, this makes us a spy, which has no relevance. We can draw a card after we defeat a minion once, and then we'll play Superpower Training. It's always nice to have a side scheme in play, so when you draw Masterwork, which is part of the expert set, but we already had Hydra Hit Squad. So technically this is not great, but it has 3 threat on it, and eventually when we clear it, we can go get a 3-cost upgrade, or we will get a 3-cost upgrade. It will be our rifle, and we'll pass. Drop Infiltration, so we can deal with a lot of threat and get a minion, which is perfect. Helicarrier, it's a support. Genius is good for Helicarrier setup, Interrogation Room, Luxury card, and a Metal Punch. So at least we have something for our arm to do. This goes to 2 Enchantress attacks for 2 and a card. We're not going to block it with a lot of health here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 damage. And either we can choose to place a charm counter or confuse yourself. I mean, I feel like we've seen this one. So that's 2 of the lackeys out. So that's just 3 damage. And charm counter goes to 3. And counter card is Spellbound. This art is very different. This art is a bit old school. It's kind of cool. When defeated, each player whose identity has a defiant trait, that's us, place 1 charm counter on their enchantment, excuse me, that's going to happen. Each player who is enthralled discards a card they control. This has a crisis on it. So we are just going to have to get the gaze to go through next turn. Almost guaranteed. But I think what we're going to do here is we're going to play Infiltration and see what happens. Now, this hand, I don't think we end up playing the Helicarrier because we're going to spend 1, 2, 3 on the arm. We're going to draw a card with Winter Mask, and then we can play the Interrogation Room after, which is a bit ugly ordering, but I think that's what we have to do here. We are confused. None of these cards, none of our text on our hero, it's not like a thwart traded thing, so it does beat confused, so it's a nice way to deal with threat. But I think that's what we start here is we throw out Helicarrier and we play Infiltration. And with Infiltration, I think we just say 5. Like we only have to remove 4 threat, but I think we're just going to say 5 here because it gives us a bigger chance at choosing the minion that we want to choose. No matter what we want a minion, if we whiff on the minion, we actually lose a fair bit of value. It makes our hand a lot worse. But we're just going to say 5. So we'll discard 5. No minion, no minion, no minion, no minion. Sorry, that's a minion and no minion. So we have to get this. So it says remove threat from a scheme, 2 the amount of cards discarded this way. So we'll remove 4 from Spellbound. When we clear this, this goes up to 4. So we're going to get, unless we jump down, our thing is going to crack. And then we have Hydra Mercenary, which has a bit more health because Hydra Hit Squad's in play. So this has +2 hit points and +1 attack. So we're currently looking at 5 health guard with 2 attack. Oh, this is not a thing. We could jump down though. Like jumping down is actually fine. This is what we should do. We should cover the text. But maybe we can do it. Yo, Joel, how's it going? Okay, that's that. We removed a threat. That's good. So that's good. Things are good. Things are good. Now we need to defeat this. So we're going to do Cybernetic Arm and Metal Punch. It looks like we're advancing Enchantress. There's no way around it because we used our arm. So now this is going to do 8 damage and we used our arm. So it's going to get overkill. So we do 5 to the Mercenary and 3 to the Villain. So this thing's knocked out. We've defeated a minion. So we have a couple things to do. I don't know the order, whether the overkill goes before when defeated. I'm assuming it does. So I don't know whether we're meant to flip Enchantress first. I'm just going to do our stuff. So Winter Armor draws a card. Sorry, Winter Mask draws a card. We have Winter Widow Soldier Spy. That's useless. And then we can remove 2 threat from something. So we can keep this in check. Or we can work on Superpower Training, which we could clear with Titania to give us our rifle, which might be useful because we could get piercing if she has toughness or if a minion spawns. So I'm actually going to go for this because if this advances, we don't lose the game. And let's advance Enchantress 3. Let's see what it says. Overkill simultaneous with damage to the attacked character. So we would, so basically all the when defeateds happen at the same time. We could choose the order, right? Because the minion gets defeated at the same time the villain gets defeated, I'm guessing. But Enchantress 3, steady in toughness, so the toughness is good. When revealed, put the set aside, Future of Despair into play, place 4 additional threat. Okay, that's why that's there. So attacking actually makes less sense now. And force response after Enchantress attacks you, place 1 charm counter. She schemes harder, but she doesn't attack any harder. She only has 18 health. We've seen Future of Despair before, so I like how they worded it with playing on standard versus playing on expert. This comes in now at 6 threat, and it says when revealed, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in play. Oh, so we actually have to fire this right away. So we are Hypnotic Gazing immediately. All right. So that's all this says. She is Stalwart and cannot take damage, so. Hypnotic Gaze fires. Let's see what we have in the box. So again, the fronts are the same. Once there's 5, flip it over. This will give us a forced text. Trance of Envy. All right, we're enthralled. Okay. Discard a card you control when revealed. Otherwise, discard the top card of your deck. Discard a card you control or discard the top 8 of your deck. We have to discard a card we control. We can't choose not to. This is not a choice. That sucks. I think the least important cards are Mask. Arm is good. Titania is good. Armor is good. I'm getting rid of the Mask, unfortunately. Now, forced action, exhaust this card. We have to do this. Give her a face down boost card, ready your identity. Ooh, that's flexible. Overkills before when defeated. So yeah, if you defeat a minion and villain at the same time, you get to choose the order. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because they die off the same attack, right? Cool. So in theory, you could defeat the villain first, which is kind of funny. It doesn't sound like it should do that. Okay, so forced actions are new in the set. You have to do them by the time you end the hero phase. So we should be able to do this. It's a free ready as long as we give her a boost card, which with the boost card, we can block with Titania, so we don't care too much. Now, she can't take damage. That sucks. We are confused. That sucks. So I don't think we do superpower training. Are we going to deck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We're not going to deck out. So I think we just need to work on this because 18 health is not that much. So I think we will thwart for 2, getting rid of the confuse. Oh no, we're steady. We just come through. Then Titania will thwart for 2. Then we will exhaust this card to give her a face down boost card. These trances are actually really neat. And we'll ready our identity. And then we will thwart for 2. So that goes to the discard pile. She loses Stalwart. She can take damage now, which means we'll get our weapon later. We'll just play our interrogation room. Catch the rest later, Matthew. Thanks for dropping by. Hopefully you have a good rest of your evening, huh? So when we defeat minions, we do more threat. We'll pass. Drawing our last 5 cards. We have 6 cards, so we won't take the bottom one. We have Skilled Investigator. We have Prof X, which, you know, we do have steady on Enchantress. One way or another, we'll rip herself through the deck, and we have both copies of Silent Infiltration. So if we draw a minion here, the issue is we don't have a lot of damage, but we can always just deal with Superpower Training to go get a rifle, and then we will have a fair bit of damage. This goes to 3. The text on this now matters. Because now when we're meant to put threat on, or sorry, not threat, whatever the counters they're called, the charm counters, it goes on prime real estate as threat, which is pretty scary. Now Enchantress is attacking for 2 and 2 boost cards. We'll block with Titania because this could be bad. And then after this attack resolves, we have to put 1 threat on the main scheme. So she's attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 expert cards is pretty good. Titania has victory 0, so she is not going into our discard pile. We'd love to get another one, but maybe we're going to get that in a second. And now we put the charm counter, so this goes to 4. Wow, this thing's really annoying. 2 boost cards a turn. But a ready is actually maybe a fair trade. This one's much more interesting than the last one we had. Magical restraints. I think we have to do both of the text on this thing because we are enthralled. So yeah, we have to do both. We're stunned. Oh man, this advances. Yo, you are stunned, place 1 charm counter, which we can't. You are confused, place 1 charm counter. So we're properly confused, but we're not stunned. But every charm counter goes on prime real estate. So we just added 2 threat out of nowhere. This advances. Let's see what's behind the second door. Sovereign Sorceress. Sovereign. When revealed, if the crown of the Enchantress attachment is in play, stun. Otherwise, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the crown and reveal it. I don't think we've seen it. Okay, this is the crown. This might be one of the longer attachment names we've seen. Attach the Enchantress. She gains Stalwart because we're on expert. Forced response. After Enchantress schemes against you, place a charm counter on the enchantment in play. We can't do that, so we add a threat. Hero action. Each player exhausts their identity and takes the damage to discard this card. 3 boost icons. I think we can probably leave this. We haven't drawn the advanced equivalent of standard 3 in a bit, but we'll see what the threshold is on Sovereign Sorceress, because at the end of the day, if we just stay in hero mode, obviously this doesn't seem like it does anything, but we could easily be wrong about that. Because that's probably how we lose, because this is like adding +1 scheme. All right, Sovereign Sorceress, the other side. Comes in already with 2 threat. Force interrupt. Is this worse? 9 threat. When this is advanced, we lose the game. When a charm counter will be placed on an enchantment card in play, if your identity has enthralled trait, place 1 threat here instead. Okay, so same text. This is a cool scenario. I really like this scenario. I really like this scenario so far. This is very interesting. I wonder how different it plays in multiplayer, but so far, a lot of cool moving parts, a lot of modularity, like a lot of replayability with these trances. Good design. I like this a lot. All right, so she's stalwart and steady. The stalwart is probably the worst part of the crown, but steady is already really hard for our deck to deal with. So we played Skilled Investigator, replaces itself. If we play Prof X, we can't do anything with Prof X, but it is, you know, a chump block, and she'll have an extra boost card, so that's probably not that bad. She can take damage, so we have to really plan this turn out. I think we do one way or another into Prof X, because whatever we grab with this, Prof X can clear. And if we grab the one that grabs a minion, we can do all our cool stuff. So I think, like most turns, it starts with one way or another. The question is whether we want to pay 3 for Prof X first. I don't think we do, so we'll miss the cycle. But max 1 per round. We're learning slowly. Search and counter deck and discard pile for a scheme and put into play. Seems like we have a lot, but what's one more? So Puppet Master will have 3 threat on it. Allies cannot thwart the scheme or defend against a villain's attacks. That we don't want, because we do want our ally to clear this. So I think we're going to go for this one, Law of Attraction. And ideally we get something big, but not too big that we can't deal with, but big enough that we can deal with. So it says, when revealed, discard cards from the top of the counter deck until enthralled minion is discarded. It only has 2 threat and acceleration. We're playing with a lot of side schemes here. There's also a chance, oh no, they're not enthralled. So if we end up getting one of our Hydra hit squad, they just get discarded. All right. Dark Designs, good to see one of that. Cinder is not enthralled. Mercenary is not enthralled. Show us an enthralled minion. Absman, once again, we haven't seen the other ones. It's like Zax, and I don't know who the 4th one is. But Absman is back. Absman, Trickster Magic, 7 health. Which pedal is it? Absman is engaged with you, gets +X attack, where X is the highest cost card you have installed. So he's only attacking for 3 so far. But 7 health is on the verge of being impossible. Not impossible, but getting there. So that's one way or another now has to resolve. We draw 3 cards. We draw Specialized Training, doesn't help us. Draw an encounter card, shuffle, and we draw 2 more. So we really want to find here a Metal Punch, or at a minimum an Electric Punch, or whatever it's called. But otherwise, with 2 readies, we can clear Superpower Training, I think, and then be able to attack for 6. That's not enough. Yeah, actually, we do have to draw something nice here. We're in a bad spot. We on our own attack for 4. Yeah, we might have bit off a bit too much here. These 2 draws that we get have to be really important. Otherwise, we're in a scary spot. I think knowing what the last card in our deck was, if we realized it was our side scheme, this was probably a bad play. Oh, we also could have considered clearing this before, because if we draw into our gun, I guess we just discard it as a resource, so it's not that bad. If we can defeat this also using our, I don't know, maybe we go for the thing in our hand that readies us? Maybe not. So 2 more cards. Discharge. Okay, I think we're going to be able to do it. And then a strength. Okay, so we can knock out Absman. The question is, what is the order we do this? So electrical discharge, not an electrical punch. This will do 5 damage, which means us plus this will knock out Absman, which is where we want to be. An interrogation room can knock out superpower training, and then Absman can defeat Law of Attraction with our Winter Soldier ability. So I'm just going to play Skilled Investigator because it'll definitely fire here. The question is whether we play Silent Infiltration. I don't know if we do, because we lose the Confuse because she has Stalwart while she has her crown on. It readies us. Honestly, Profex is not that good here. Profex is good as a chump block. That's the best part of Profex. So this gets played like that off of our arm. We're going to end up drawing 1 card. We're going to get our rifle on the table. So then Profex gets played like this. And then we can play Silent. I think we can play Silent Infiltration here. So we spend 2 on Silent Infiltration. These play the Discharge. We draw a card with Investigator. No, we're short a resource here. Did I mess it up? Discharge gets played like this. We draw a card with Skilled Investigator. This plays this. Yeah, we can't. We're short unless we draw a double. Okay. That's fine. So we are going to... We have to defeat it, but it's not a big deal. We will attack for 2 into Absman. Then we'll use Cybernetic Arm to generate a wild, plus we'll pitch this to play Electrical Discharge. This does 5 damage and defeats Absman. So when Absman gets defeated, we get our own Absorbing Man. And then we have a couple triggers here. So it comes in with only 3 health, and when we attacks, we can exhaust a thing that we control and upgrade our support to get plus stats to that. There's certain decks where that's easier than others. This deck is actually not that easy because we want to exhaust most of our stuff. I guess like Silent Infiltration is an option. Now, we defeated a minion, so we can use 2 threat off of this. We can draw a card because Skilled Investigator fires. That's good. We can use Interrogation Room because we defeated a minion. So we can remove 1 threat from Superpower Training. So now we can search our deck and discard pile for an upgrade and put into play. So I think we're just going to go ahead and get... Oh, maybe there's like a Sonic Rifle angle. I don't think we're going to do that though. We're just going to grab Winter Rifle, which gives us a big attack. We can exhaust this to get +2 attack, piercing, and ranged. So we can deal with Enchantress is tough. All right, we really came back from the board. We'll be drawing 2 encounter cards, but I think we're in a good spot. 9 health is on the edge of being dodgy, but we are going to play a friend here in a second. All right, we're going to use Trance of Envy. So we're going to give her a face down boost card. We're going to ready our identity. You have to watch out if you're giving her boost cards and then you stun her and then she instead schemes, like that's where we lose the game, where she schemes for like 7 or whatever. Okay. We have more cards in our hand than I thought we would, than we know what to deal with. This could be Prof X, which means we might as well just do clear the area on the main scheme. I want to keep this around because this text is not super relevant and we can knock it out on another turn with Skilled Investigator. So we'll draw a card because we cleared the main. Oh, we have Winter Armor for Absman. That's actually not bad. We drew a Sonic Rifle. I think I'd rather play Prof X. So I'll spend 1, 2, 3 on Prof X. Prof X's text is not going to matter though. There's nothing we can do with Prof X's text here, right? Choose 1, confuse the villain, can't do that. Stun a minion, can't do that. Ready an X-Men. I guess we're not doing any of this. This is a really bad play. It's just a chump blocker. Like it dodges 2 damage plus 2 boost cards, which is probably worth it. The other options, we can get rid of the crown. Maybe we just do that instead of attacking. It feels bad, but maybe we have some safety there. So we're going to exhaust our identity. We're going to take a damage. And then we'll discard this. Okay, so she no longer has Stalwart, so this play makes a bit more sense. Then we'll still do 1, 2, 3 for Prof X. She is steady, so she won't actually be confused, but we're halfway there. Prof X is in play. I guess if that's the case, we'll hold on to the Sonic Rifle because we might be able to play it and jump down next turn. Prof X comes in with 3 threat. We're not going to do anything with Prof X. I don't think Prof X can take out the toughness because you actually have to do some amount of damage. Absman is also a waste, so I think we're just going to pass. We did our forced. We didn't use our rifle. Yeah, Absman could attack for a lot, but doesn't have piercing, so we'll hold on to this. Draw up to 5. Our mask is back. Arm block is honestly makes us feel bad about playing Prof X, but whatever. Clear the area is doable, and we have a metal punch, so we are in striking distance. I guess we're happy not playing the arm block, though, into the toughness for maybe obvious reasons. This goes to 1. Enchantress attacks for 2 and 2 cards. We haven't seen any overkill so far, so Prof X will enter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a Sinister Strike. Prof X is knocked out. And then we have to put a charm counter, which means this goes to 2. Second encounter card. First encounter card. Spellbound. Okay, so we have something to do with threat. Comes in with 4 threat and when defeated, I think we just put a charm counter. Oh, we have to discard a card we control. We are enthralled, so we have to discard a card we control. Okay. And then we have a brute. Nice. We like minions. So this thing has 4 health and guard. While this minion is engaged with a player who is enthralled, it has +3 hit points. Whoa, 7 guard. That's relatively mean. We do exactly have a big damage card in our hand, so that's okay. So we are in a good spot here. So what do? We want to attack face with Winter Rifle because it has piercing, which means we want to try and knock out this brute without using our basic activation. The easiest way to do that is just playing Metal Punch. It knocks it out, takes 2 threat off of this. We could, yeah, I think that's all we do. Yeah, it uses our whole hand. We're going to be clearing this. There's a chance that we could like clear it with clear the area. Oh, we can ready ourselves actually. So no, we don't have to do this like that. Because in theory, we want to play clear the area on this to clear it. Because it'll just draw a card. So I think we're going to attack for 2. Because we have to ready ourselves no matter what. Then we'll exhaust this to ready ourselves and give her a boost card. So we are envious of her. Okay. This doesn't change the math, does it? No, this doesn't change the math at all. Why did I think this was smart? Absman can attack for 3, but like we want to be ready for this. So I guess this is all silly because this has guard. Yeah, this was silly. Let's not do this. So we'll just undo this really quickly. That functionally does not matter. So we'll just put this back on top. So I think we just hit it with the big thing. So I'm just going to put down the Winter Mask. So when we knock this thing out, we can at least draw a card. Okay. And then we're going to use Cybernetic Arm +2 to play Metal Punch. This will just take it out straight away. And then we can just ready ourselves to attack Enchantress. This does 8 damage. Gets the brute. Bunch of triggers here. We can remove 2 threat. We'll go for this because that's Crisis. We can draw a card with Winter Mask. We have a one way or another. We might actually play it. Interrogation Room can remove 1 threat. Crisis means you can't remove threat from other things, right? Knocking this down to 0. We could clear this to draw a card first. We're going to clear this anyways, so it's not a huge difference. Okay, we'll clear this. So we draw a card with Skilled. That's from the wrong deck. We want to draw one of our cards. Okay, limit 1 per round. That's why you play not 3 sometimes. Still fine. Okay, let's get that a cut. All right, we will attack with the Winter Rifle. So this is 4 damage with piercing. So the villain takes 4, loses the toughness. Then we will ready ourselves, give ourselves a boost card. I think Absman will just clear the thing. If we play one way or another, we can remove 3 threat, and we are ready here. I think we play one way or another. When our hand is 2 one way or another, there's no way we're not playing one. So we'll search in counter deck. It's only in counter deck, so this could whiff, I guess. It full whiffs. Huh. Search in counter deck for side scheme. I guess we could have done a check how many side schemes, but there are no side schemes in here. We can check. There's a couple big minions. There's Zax, Whirlwind, Ulik. and Enthralled Brute. There's no expert cards, but there's a nowhere safe. So there's no way that she'll scheme unless we don't know the text on that, which we don't. So one way or another whiffs because we don't pay the cost. I think that's fine. Okay, so then we're just going to use Absman, who will thwart. We're going to exhaust Winter Armor, so thwarts for 3, knocks out Spellbound. When we have to do that, we have to discard a card we control when we get rid of this thing. So I think we're just going to get rid of... It's probably Interrogation Room, let's be honest. The card's pretty extra. And then we'll just go ahead and attack for 2. We'll pass. Throw this out. Draw 5. Winter Widow Soldier Spy. Infiltration for some big threat, but we know we're not drawing into any side schemes, so these are bad draws. These are all bad draws. Captain Britain, these are all not. They're okay. They're not great. This goes to 3. Enchantress is attacking for 2 and 2 cards. I think we're just going to block with Absman. We really want to make sure we always have an ally in front of us because 2 boost cards is pretty scary. We are ready. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Absman is a victory 0, so it's not coming back anytime soon. Our 1 encounter card is Whirlwind. Ooh, has Quick Strike, so actually will matter. Whirlwind, Trickster Magic. The design on this one's very different from the Masters of Evil Whirlwind, which is cool. So Quick Strike, going to hit us for 1 plus text. After Whirlwind attacks, you take 1 indirect damage for each side scheme in play. So I'm glad we cleared those out. And when defeated, we get our own Whirlwind, which I think also cares about side schemes, which is not going to matter for a moment. So Whirlwind attacks for 1, we're just going to take it. And then we take 1 indirect for each side scheme, so does nothing. All right, do we have 12 damage in our hand? No, we don't. We can only legally play 1 card that matters. We could get more minions in play, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, that's ugly. We have a ready built in, which is nice. So I think we just dump our hand for Captain Britain. So is better attacking minions? So that's fine. So I think we will. We will attack for 3. Down to 3. Then Winter Soldier will attack with the rifle for 4. So that knocks out Whirlwind, who goes to the victory display and replaces Whirlwind with the new and improved friendly Whirlwind. I think the scenario booklet goes out the way to say that these are not villains, but they're enthralled to attack us. But they're meant to be friendly characters. So I don't know if David Cannon is actually like a Masters of Evil or not. When Whirlwind attacks, remove 1 threat from each scheme in play. Whoa. For each threat removed, gets +1 attack. That's cool. That's genuinely very cool. Only 1 consequential. That's the coolest minion we've seen so far. All right, we can draw with Winter Mask. We have Viv. We can remove 2 threat. Okay. I guess we chump block with Captain Britain here. We have to give ourselves a boost card, ready ourselves. We will attack for 2 into the villain. Whirlwind will just go ahead and attack for 1, removing 1 threat. We won't hold on to Vivian. Actually, we will. I think holding on to allies is really good considering our game plan here. And then we just have to do 9 damage. So we could top deck. I think we have another Metal Punch in the deck, but I could check. So we'll draw 1. Safe house. Discharge. That's 5 damage. So we have lethal next turn. We have to survive. Nick is more lethal. Genius. Okay. We'd have to survive this turn. Goes to 1. Enchantress attacks for 2 and 2 cards. We'll just block with Britain. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Boost on this is reveal this card, Kiss of Temptation. So attach to your identity, smooch. Forced action, exhaust this card, place 1 charm counter on the enchantment card in play, draw a card, then discard a card. Alter ego, exhaust this card, discard this card. What does this do? Oh, it's a forced action. Oh, okay, now I get it. That's really, really cool. So every turn we have to place 1 threat to draw a card and discard a card. I think that's a good trade. This is 4 damage. Captain Britain gets knocked out. Whirlwind is a member of the Masters of Evil. That's the Whirlwind I know of. I just don't know if it's the same Whirlwind. Like, is it because this guy looks a fair bit different? But this just could be the older version. Do my bidding. When revealed, if your identity has the Defiant trait, no. We have Enthralled trait. We have to do both in any order. Search and counter deck and discard pile for a minion and reveal it. Oh, this goes up to 2. That's fine. Search and counter deck and discard pile for a side scheme and reveal it. Okay, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter at all. So we have to get a side scheme. We have to get a minion. We reveal both of them. So I think we're just going to go out whatever doesn't matter. So what matters the least? This doesn't matter. This is the Hydra hit squad. 3 threat. Yeah. 3 threat is fine. Is there a 2 threat scheme? I don't think there is. Oh, there is, but it grabs a minion. We don't want to do that. And then we have to grab a minion. We like having schemes in play. So let's just grab a minion that doesn't have guard. So we'll grab the Enthralled Lackey here. Now it has quick strike, so it's going to hit us for 1. And it says after this minion attacks, you place a charm counter. So this goes to 3. So all we have to do is the 9 damage. Enchantress does not have guard. So, oh, I don't know why I'm shuffling this as a discard pile. Technically not allowed to shuffle that. And we'd have to figure out how to do lethal in this turn. So we have some forced things that we have to do. I'll put them at the front in our threat area. So what do we want to do? We have a free ready. We have so much damage. So I think we just have to not mess up, which shouldn't be that hard. So Whirlwind says after he attacks, remove 1 threat from each scheme in play. That's such cool text. That's a really cool text. So Whirlwind will attack into the Enthralled Lackey, I guess. No, into Enchantress. This doesn't have guard. So down to, takes 2 damage. This goes down. This goes down. Very cool text. Really like that. Winter Soldier will attack with the rifle for 4, defeating the Lackey. When the Lackey is defeated, we remove 2 threat from this. That draws with Skilled Investigator. Winter's Mask draws. All right, we will do this to give us our encounter card and ready. We will do Kiss of Temptation. I'm not even sure what it says. Place 1 charm counter in the enchantment, draw a card, discard a card. Okay, let's just see more cards. Draw, we'll discard that card, that's fine. And then here we have enough damage, so let's just not be super cute about it. We'll do 1 and 1 for Electrical Discharge. This does 5 damage and half a stun. Sick. And then we can do, let's just do an attack for 2. Nice. Obviously, we had a lot more reach there. We could play Nick Fury for more damage, or we can draw 3 cards. And then, well, honestly, it's not that great from that point on, but that'll do it. Enchantress is really cool so far. Obviously, we've only seen 2 of the Hypnotic Gazes, but they're actually very interesting. Having forced abilities as forced actions, I'd be down to see more of them. They all seem like they draw a card, or like, I guess they have different costs, but that's really neat. This Kiss of Temptation is actually very cool. I think drawing a card, like, if this was on a player card, I think this is the one weird thing. If this text was on a player card, I would consider it in certain decks. So you can lean into it. Whirlwind is a very cool designed ally. Maybe that ability is just so strong you have to attach it to some sort of weird linked card. But I like that text a lot. That's really cool in a Justice deck where we actually have multiple ways to go out to find encounter cards, or more accurately, like side schemes. Very, very cool. All right. We've been streaming for about 2 hours. I think we're going to try Loki. Let's try Expert Loki. I read through the rules. I think when I read the Loki article up on FFG's website, it very much confused me, but I've read through the rules and I think I can make it. It makes enough sense to me that I'm not too worried about it. These are friends. These are friends to be. So let's get this settled in. Okay, these I'll put aside. So the only friend we haven't seen so far is Zax. So hopefully Zax shows up. Zax cares about energy icons, which makes sense. That's what the other Zax has done. So these are here. And let's just clean up the board. Give me 1 second. He's a goofy antagonist. What are the Master of Evils attached to? Oh, this is a trance. Like, do they just show up in all Marvel comics regardless? So I think we only have to take out the Enchantress cards because I think we're still playing with Trickster Magic. It's the only side scheme, or what's it called? Player. It's the only encounter set that comes in this pack. Okay, what are we doing? This is our cards. This is our Nemesis. This is all Enchantress stuff. Okay. The amount of mental focus it takes me to do that on the camera is just like astounding. So this should be 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 3 expert and 1 player side scheme. What are we missing? This should be 11 cards. Are we missing a whole lot of cards somewhere? Wait, what's going on? Oh, this says 11 because it includes the linked card. So it's not 11. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 4 set aside. So this is that. This is 5 cards. That's fine. But what card are we missing? Master Plan, Under Fire. The expert cards are here. Dark Design, Sinister, Sinister, Evil Alliance drawing nearer. What card are we missing from Standard? Oh, the discard a card card. The discard a card. Oh, it's this. Yeah, no worries, save. Okay, cool. So that's that. That's that. That's that. Sick. Okay. All right, Loki has a bit more of an involved setup. Now, I don't know what I set this up. If I do scenario set Loki, I'm assuming this will bring up like old school Loki. Yeah, this brings up old school Loki. What is new Loki called? There's a lot of cards in this one. It's called God of Lies. Okay. So let's see if I did a good job. Set not found. Found it. Okay, sick. Maybe this works. Okay, so there's a bunch of weird setup here. So there's a whole bunch of different Lokis. We're going to be blasting through them, kind of like the other Loki set. I just want to go and say that the original Loki, I'm not a big fan of. I don't think there's a lot of big fans of the original Loki. I feel like the armor thing, the hand of Thanos, is a bit annoying over a long enough period of time. But that Loki didn't feel enough like a trickster. Like, I wish that Loki had really weird things to do. It felt a bit more like a slog. Like, there's so many cool things you can do in Marvel Champions, and that Loki did not deliver any of them. So this setup is a bit involved. There's a whole bunch of these like synergy cards that you can get counters on, that you can use counters to help other people, because you can play this in like massive multiplayer mode. There's this Shattered Illusion card that'll explain stuff, but I think we just start here. So give me 1 second. Villain name, Loki. Now, technically there's multiple Lokis. We have the Loki God of Lies here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Loki God of Lies is going to be the Loki we have to defeat. Has 20 health, and we can't attack it directly. Things that we're going to be doing in this encounter will do damage to Loki. And once we do half damage to Loki, we flip it over, and the text on the other side is probably a fair bit worse for us. So I'm not going to track this Loki's health on the screen. I'm just going to put 10 health next to his name. But again, I do think things that we do just take damage out of Loki. So that'll be tracked separately. Oh, we're also going to be playing on Standard for our first run through. So I'm going to take out the expert cards. But otherwise, Standard so far has been looking pretty good, as much as we've been kind of apparently cheating. Okay, so first card we have to look at is Worlds Collide. So Worlds Collide A says we're playing with the sets that we expect. So, okay, no, I apparently God of Lies is not loading, so we'll just give up on that. But Worlds Collide says we have to play with Loki, God of Lies and Standard encounter set, plus Trickster Magic. So all our friends that we can take control of, we have to get rid of those. Just wait for the Frost Shines to go. Setup says create a separate game area for each player group. We're the only play group, so we don't have to worry about that. Each group follows instructions on Mischief and Mayhem 1A. So let's jump over to that before we flip this card. Setup. After resolving Worlds Collide, we just did that. Do the following. Put a random avatar of Loki into play, engage with you, set the other avatars aside, and the Shatter the Illusion card. So again, we have 4 cards. If someone wants to give me a number between 1 and 4, 1 being the left, we'll pick that Loki. Actually, no, we can't pick them because they are different on this side. I have to roll a die. We're taking Loki the Wretch. So these will be set aside alongside the Shatter the Illusion card. So this is the Loki we're actually going to be in combat with, from my understanding. So then put each synergy environment into play. I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to put these aside out of play. They only can do things when you take counters off of them. Yeah, and they don't start with any counters. So I'm only going to put these in play once they get counters, just for the simplicity of the setup. So they'll just be behind my face over here. I think that's how we can do it. In standard mode, yep, set the intense focus attachment aside. Okay, that's the back of this. Attach it to the avatar of Loki in expert mode. Okay, so we don't have to deal with that. That'll come in later. So far, the expert scaling in the set looks interesting. It's a bit more holistic, which I appreciate. So we flip this over. 8 threat. This is the only scheme. It says when the scheme would be completed, remove all threat from here and place 1 threat on Worlds Collide, which will be the back of this, which I'm not sure if we're meant to finish that yet. And force interrupt, when an identity would be defeated, change that identity's form to alter ego, set its hit points to 1, and place 1 threat on Worlds Collide instead. So Worlds Collide is its own main scheme. I don't think we can interact with this one, but if we die or this advances, we put threat on here. I'm assuming that's really quite bad because apparently we can't die. We have kind of like built-in Deadpool text. So I'm assuming the threshold on the other one's pretty low. Otherwise, we only add 1 per turn and starts at 0. Now the back of Worlds Collide says 2 threat per play group. I think, I'm not sure if that's per player or per play group. I think it's per play group. So I think this only has a threshold of 2. I guess no matter which way we slice it, it's fine. So it says each per player icon on Loki God of counts as the number of players in all game areas. On Loki God of Lies. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's fine. And then each group icon in the scheme counts all total number of groups in all pods. That's fine. Cards cannot affect the scheme or Loki God of Lies unless they refer to those cards by name, and if the stage is completed, they lose the game. So that means we can only die once. If we die twice, we lose the game because this hits 2 threat. And this can only advance once. If it advances twice, we lose the game because it hits 2 threat here, or any combination thereof. We still have no idea how to hurt Loki God of Lies, but this is our lose condition. And again, we can't threat off of that because only cards that say that name on it can interact with it. All right, let's look at Loki the Wretch. How did I order these? Oh no, I named them by number? How could you do that? No, that's not right. Loki God of Lies, Loki the Wretch. All right, here we go. 15 health. 1 scheme, 1 attack. When Loki the Wretch activates against you, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a treachery was discarded this way, Loki gets +1 scheme and +1 attack for this activation. So it could be 1, could be 2. That's not a big deal. I don't think we're going to play around that really. Force interrupt. When the villain would be defeated, place 5 shatter counters here and flip this card instead. We don't know what that means, but we also don't know the back of Loki the Wretch. I'm assuming that gets us closer to defeating this, so that should matter. Otherwise, that's it. We just shuffle and are not the most complicated setup, but understanding the group icons is a bit tricky. We'll get there. So all we have to do to win is we have to defeat Loki God of Lies, because I think defeating this is not actually going to win us the game. Well, I think it'll get us to winning the game. Originally, Avengers, I think the original was led by Zemo, and the last version I'm familiar with, so they show up everywhere because almost everyone has been an Avenger at some point. More confusing, but yeah, basically they're an evil group against the Avengers. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Core set, Marvel Champions, they're like a big part of it, as you know. They seem really goofy, but they also seem like very 60s goofy or 70s goofy, like older comics goofy. Oh, this deck, mind you, has a lot of minions in them. There's some really big minions, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to play Winter Soldier. If we can set up as easily as we did in the first scenario, would be in a good spot. Because at that point, we have a lot of benefit from defeating minions. And it looks like the minions are going to be coming pretty consistently. Because not only does the Trickster Takeover encounter set, whatever it's called, add 4, I think this deck has like 5 or 6 minions, but some of them are really quite big. All right, so this is shuffled. Again, there's like nothing we have to worry about. Like there's a lot of cards on the table, but this only has active text of maybe being 1 attack or 2 attack. This has no active text. It only has lose conditions on it. This has no text besides it has 20 health, and on 10 health it flips. And this just says add 2 threat, you lose the game. But like there's a lot of cards on the table, but they don't actually do anything right now. All those synergy cards are meant to have 4 more cards on the table, which is kind of nonsense. But again, I'm pretty sure those cards only do things when they have counters on them. I'll double check really quickly, but they don't start with counters on them. So I'm assuming we're going to get counters by doing good stuff. Okay. Give us 1 second. Double check. Almost spilled the coffee again. That'd be sick. Tense focus is here. Yeah. So just to show you what some of these look like mounting resistance. This says max 1 synergy counter here, but it doesn't come with synergy counters. When a friendly character thwarts, remove a synergy. That thwart removes 4 additional threat. So they all have the same text, max 1 synergy counter, but none of them start with synergy counters. So I'm only going to put them in play once they matter. They don't have costs. They're not upgrades or attachments. They're not player cards. So it's not like we can discard them. So we're just going to set them aside. All right. Alter Ego. 11 health, excuse me. And we're off. First card. Nick Fury. I mean, you usually keep Nick Fury, especially if you draw a double. I'll put it in the maybe camp, but you almost always keep Nick Fury. Helicarrier sort of challenges at this. We've never played Helicarrier. Our resource economy has been pretty good. because we're drawing, 3 cards pretty consistently like that. So like one way or another into Nick Fury is just such a goofy turn that there's no way we're not keeping both of these because each of them helps the other one get played. Metal Punch, I don't know if we keep that. We don't really need a lot of damage on turn 1, it seems. Black Widow we usually don't keep. And Safe House 30. We could keep Safe House 30 actually. Because Safe House 30 can draw us an enemy. Defeating the enemy as much as we have 4 damage with Nick could help us deal with one way or another. Let's try this. Minimum, this will be a resource. This might not be the most reasonable keep, but give us a double. Nice. Silent Infiltration. Okay. Mind you, our Loki that we're playing against doesn't have... Oh man, the way I wrote this is really ugly. I need to be able to like fast key it so that I just type villain and it knows what villain we're playing against. I think I'll try and set that up next, but this is our hand. If we want... Oh, no, we didn't cheat in the first game because we grabbed the minion with Safe House 30. Nice. Okay, that's good to know. Feel a little bit better about that. So I think we're just going to do Safe House 30 for a minion and then we'll do one way or another. So... having the Metal Punch. Oh no, we have to grab our arm too. I guess there's a small chance we grab our arm with Safe House 30 and that emotionally feels pretty devastating. So maybe we start here. Ooh, what is the order here? This is actually a really interesting question. What is the order that we play these cards? Because Alter Ego, we can grab our arm. That's really good. Obviously we want to grab the arm. If we play Safe House 30, it costs us 1 card because we play it and it draws a card. But we want to play one way or another before we play Nick Fury. But we don't want to play Safe House because Safe House has a chance to draw the arm. Actually, if it does, we lose a resource, right? So assumingly this is not the arm, we throw this out for the arm, then we hop up and play one way or another. So I think we're just going to risk that we're not drawing the arm, which is 1 in like 34 or something. So I'll play Safe House 30. All right, we're going to exhaust it. So search and counter deck for a minion. We have to make that decision before we draw the card. So we don't know we're going to be drawing. And we can go grab a minion. And immediately we see a 10 health minion at the bottom there with the Mangog. So that's frightening. The Minotaur, 4 toughness. When revealed, if there are 5 or more treacheries in the counter discard, Minotaur activates against you. That has 4 health. I'm just going to grab that. We could spend all day looking through the deck, but this seems like a good time to grab the Minotaur because 4 health. Oh, wait, it has toughness. Okay, never mind. I didn't read the toughness text. That seems like a good thing to get early. We can always get one of these big guys, and actually it might be good to get one of these big guys early because they're good big guys. And we can knock all of them out with a Metal Punch. We have Grendel. When Grendel attacks, 6 health guard, discard the top 3 cards. Hold on, I can pull these up. And when defeated, place 3 counters on Avatar of Loki. So we don't know what that means, but when we defeat it, we place 5 and flip. We have the Draugr Buddy. This seems like the smallest guy. Draugr Buddy, a little buddy. When defeated, the defeating player discards the top card in the counter deck. If it's a treachery, deal Draugr as a face down encounter card. We love that as Winter Soldier. That's an incredibly good Winter Soldier card. Maybe an infinite 2 health guard. I can't imagine designing a better card. We would play that if that was in our deck. Otherwise, we can just grab Absman. We can grab Titania. There's a whole bunch of these. I'm not going to read all of them because we'd be here for a while. Whirlwind's also not a bad setup card, but there'll be 1 side scheme into play, and there's no threat on this one. We have the Trickster Tango, which gives Stalwart and has 4 threat on it, but I'm assuming I'm not going to shuffle this deck because yeah, let's just go for the little guy. Let's go for the little guy. I can't imagine a better card for us. Now, I'm not going to shuffle this because Draugr Buddy's going to be in play. Has 2 health and guard because we're immediately going to draw a card. Great. It wasn't our arm. And speaking of arm, we'll throw out the Metal Punch to go grab our arm. Put it into play. Bottom card of the deck. Perfect. And then we're going to jump up because we're going to play one way or another immediately. That's why I didn't shuffle. We're just going to shortcut this a bit. We have a really good turn 1 here. All right, we're going to flip up. We're going to play one way or another. So we're going to go search for our side scheme of choice, draw 3 cards. So this is a nice way to know what the side schemes are. Lofty Goals, 5 threat. When defeated, place 2 shatter counters on Avatar, has an acceleration. You see walking down the Brooklyn Bridge is my guess. In expert mode, this gains hinder 1. Allies cannot thwart or defeat. We just want something with 2 threats, something simple. So I think we had something simple. These all have 7 threat per player. Play group, I think it is. That's pretty big. 6 threat. Whoa, some of these are really big. Trickster Tango's 4 threat. So we're going to remove 2. Nick can remove 2. I think we can just go for Trickster Tango. Yeah, that's fine. Oops. So the Trickster Tango comes into play. 4 threat, stalwart, 2 acceleration icons, totally fine. Now we'll shuffle the deck. And then we're going to draw 3 cards. Excuse me. Okay, cool. That's that. Draga Buddy's there. We draw 3 cards with one way or another. After it resolves, we draw a Viv. Clear the area. That actually is really good. And an energy. That's really, really quite good. Okay. So we might have wanted to actually get a bigger minion considering we have Metal Punch. Yeah, we probably should have got a bigger minion in hindsight. Because I think getting one of the ones out of the deck that gives us an ally is probably worth it. Because you want to get a Metal Punch on those turns, and we had a Metal Punch. So I think actually getting the Draugr Buddy was probably wrong. Regardless, we'll spend 4 on Nick. You know Nick. We're going to draw 3 cards. So it comes in with 3 health. It's going to block this turn. We draw 1 Specialized Training, another Clear the Area, and Captain Britain. Okay. I don't know if we do Metal Arm into the Draugr Buddy. We don't have Steady. We could, but it feels like a lot of resources here, so I don't think we do. I think we just attack for 2. So Winter Soldier will attack for 2 into the Draugr Buddy, defeating it. Now, Draugr Buddy, wait, does this say don't defeat it? No, when defeated, so it is defeated. The defeating player discards the top card in the counter deck. If that card is a treachery, deal Draugr Buddy to the player as a face down counter card. It's obviously not a treachery, so we get rid of Draugr Buddy, which means we can fire our ability to remove 2 threat. Yeah, we definitely should have gone for something bigger. That was, in hindsight, quite wrong. Then we're going to do Clear the Area. For Clear the Area. We're going to remove 2 threat from Trickster Takeover, drawing a card. Discharge is perfect. That's a really good top deck. That kind of saves this hand a fair bit. So Discharge is 1, so we can just play Vivian, or we can set up Specialized Training. I'd rather go Specialized Training here. So we'll do Cybernetic Arm, Electrical Discharge. I'm actually going to hold on to the Metal Punch, so we'll throw out Captain Britain instead. So this is going to do 5 damage to the villain and stun, so we don't have to worry about an activation. Nick Fury will attack for 2 more. So already down to 8, as much as there's a whole bunch of different Lokis. And then I'm just going to pitch Vivian, and we'll hold on to the Metal Punch in case we get a big minion for Specialized Training. So the best thing we could draw next turn is the one that discards cards until we get a minion. Oops. Because then we have the big punch in our hand to deal with it. Because this thing has 5 threat, and we want to clear it on turn 2 to get us +1 attack. So yeah, big minion here would be pretty great. We would want Infiltration. And we'll pass. The stun's like kind of... It actually might have been better not to stun and just do 7 damage because Nick Fury was blocking that turn. The difference is 3 damage. It's not a huge difference. But maybe Nick Fury will block if we draw like an assault or something. So we'll hold on to Metal Punch. We'll draw a Sonic Rifle. Prof X. Infiltration, so we can hopefully get a big minion there. And Arm Block. So unfortunately the Arm Block we're not going to play here. This threat goes to 1. Loki has no text because his text is based off of activating. We draw 1 encounter card. Dirty Trick. When revealed, remove 1 shatter counter from Avatar of Loki. Take 2 damage. 3 if we're an expert. So, wow, there's a card in the deck that just says take 3 damage. Okay, that's kind of weird. We take 2, I guess. It is a dirty trick. It is not, removing a shadow counter isn't a cost. It's not like we didn't remove it, we don't take the damage, but I'm surprised. You don't often see cards that just do direct damage like that. All right. Sneaky and Stalwart are way too close to me. Man, I still don't know always the difference between Crisis and Patrol, but we'll get there. All right, I'm going to just start. This Arm Block is not very useful. And we'll just play Infiltration. Wait, there's no way we play... No, we don't play the Arm Block. This hand is ugly. This hand's actually really ugly. Oh, Nick is gone. Oh, we can draw a card, so maybe it's not the worst. We'll play Infiltration and we'll discard 5. So yeah, we're going to name 5 and we're going to discard 5 and we're going to get the first minion and engage with us. Or not first, our choice. Ooh, that's a big one. Has 7 health though. That's perfect. No choices here. We're discarding a whole bunch of interesting Loki cards, but we have Reisevogr. So we still have to resolve this. So it says, remove 1 threat for each card discard. We put the minion discard into play, engage with you. So this puts it into play, so we don't actually do the when revealed. The when revealed will be discard the top 3 cards in the counter deck. If a treachery was discarded, take 2 indirect damage. But very importantly, infiltration, one of the big reasons why it's really good is that it doesn't do when revealed. It just does put it into play. So we actually get around all of the text on this big old elite creature. 7 health. Now we can remove 5 threat from this, so we will. And specialized training, we'll go get our specialization. It's combat specialist. So now when we attack, we can exhaust this. We get +1 attack and we draw a card. It has to be a basic attack. Okay, cool. So we're going to do arm +2 to metal punch. This is going to do 8 damage with overkill, so Loki takes 1. Bird is gone. That'll remove 2 threat here. Bird's ability says, place 3 shatter counters on the avatar of Loki. Okay. Choose a group in the pod. That's us. Place 1 synergy counter on the domineering force environment. Okay, so this is why they will matter. So now we have domineering force. So we're going to have to remember to use these things. Domineering force has 1 counter on it. It says, when a friendly character attacks, remove 1 attack counter from here, deal 4 additional damage. That is really damn good for us because it doesn't have to be a basic attack. This means we can almost definitely defeat a minion because we're attacking for 7 on a basic. So ideally we do that with overkill, but that's absurd. This thing's defeated. We place 3 shatter counters. I mean, now we attack for 3, drawing a card. Loki's down to 4. We draw Skilled Investigator. Imagine that. With 1 card in hand, we drew exactly our 0 coster. Absurdly good. We'll pass. Draw 5. That is such a good top deck. Silent Infiltration. Superpower Training. One way or another. That's getting played one way or another. We love an infiltration. We got Interrogation Room. Okay. With this Domineering Force, we're just like very, very excited at any point in time to go just rip a minion. Not that this will rip a minion, but we can rip the encounter card that gets us a minion. No, that was actually an Enchantress card. This goes to 1. Loki the Wretch attacks us for 1 in a card. When Loki the Wretch activates against you, discard the top card in the counter deck. It's not a treachery, so he's only attacking for 1 in a card. We will take it. 1, 2 damage on Puppet Master. That was one of the 3 threat ones, so we take 2. I've been talking too much. My voice is going. Evil Alliance, we put 3 pursued by the past counters. It's back to us. Okay. So we could just do a basic attack here and knock out Loki and see what happens on the back of Loki. I'm assuming Loki swaps to a different Loki. But we don't have much to do here. I think we're just going to do one way or another and look for something good. I don't know what else we're doing here. We can only thwart for 2, but ideally with this, we draw into like an ally or something that we actually can play because our hand is honestly not doing anything. So we search in counter deck for a side scheme. So let's look at our options. Might not be that many more options left. We have New Jotunheim. It's when defeated, place 3 shatter counters. It's acceleration 6 threat. That's not the worst thing to do. We have Door Between Worlds, 7 threat, all the icons in the world. Any player in your pod can thwart door as if it were in their game area. Very cool. When defeated, 3 shatter counters, and then do a synergy stuff. I don't want to do that one. This is 5 in acceleration, while Jotunheim is 6 in acceleration. When defeated, place 2 shatter counters. This is when defeated, place 3 shatter counters, and then place 1 synergy counter on Feigned Retreat. Then we have 4 threat. When revealed, discard the top 2 cards in the counter deck. If a treachery was discarded, exhaust your identity. We don't want to take that one. So it's either 5 threat or 6 threat. I'm going to go for the 6 threat because I believe in ourselves. And this just seems like more fun text. New Jotunheim is going to come in. Has 6 threat and acceleration. Okay. Place 3 shatter counters. Go grab the Feigned Retreat environment and deal with it. So I don't know what we can draw into here that will let us clear it. I think the best draw we have is an Infiltration. That would be perfect because then we can exactly clear this thing. Infiltration would be a really good draw. So we draw 3. Winter Widow, useless. Infiltration, perfect. And Winter Rifle, perfect. Really quite good. All right, so we can't play this thing, so we'll just play Infiltration. You know the drill. We just say 5. 5 is the biggest number. We have this Domineering Force number. Why not? So we'll do 5. Discard 5. 1. Okay, we got a minion. Already great. We have a bigger minion, which is the Mangog. The Mangog, 10 health per group. Victory 1, schemes for 3, attacks for 4. Any player in your pod can attack the Mangog as if it were in their game area. When defeated, each group in your pod places 3 shatter counters, and we get a synergy on one of their environments. Okay, I don't think we're gonna pick that one. We could no, I don't think we can. Malekith. So we're drawing all the big guys here. Again, we only have to pick one of these. 5 health, retaliate 1. This might have a better text on it. When defeated, place 2 shatter counters. After Malekith attacks you, discard the top card in the counter deck. If the card is a treachery, deal it to yourself as a face down encounter card. So either it can be Whirlwind here or Malekith. They're super comparable. No, we're safe. And Laufey's back. Big old Laufey. Oh, is there another Laufey? Another Laufey. Yep. After a character attacks Laufey, discard the top card in the counter deck. If it's a treachery, stun the attacker. I don't want to deal with that. And 3, and then we get a united front. Okay. So it's between Malekith and Whirlwind. Whirlwind has Quick Strike, which will do 2 damage to us. Or we can just knock out Malekith to get shatter counters. Let's just go for the shatter counters. Do we need an ally? I don't think we need an ally. So we have Malekith. 5 health. Retaliate 1. We remove 5 threat because we discarded 5 cards. So new Jotunheim is down to 1. Okay, it's back to us. This is a good interrogation room turn. This is a good silent infiltration turn too, but I need to check the rules because if we defeat this Loki, the Wretch, does the other Lokis, do they keep encounter cards and status tokens and all that sort of stuff? Does it say? Each containing 4 different Loki. I think they're different characters, unless it says. Sometimes they shout this out specifically. Yeah, okay. When you swap Lokis, this does not cause any avatar villain to leave play, enter play revealed. Attachments, status cards, counters, and tokens on the avatar of Loki should be transferred to the new version. So if we confuse this Loki or stun this Loki and get a new Loki, we're totally fine. So this silent infiltration makes some amount of sense. So we could just do, are we not playing our gun? Because we can draw 1 off of this. We can already attack for 7 into Malekith, which is totally fine. This doesn't give us overkill, so I don't think we play the rifle. If anything, I think we play interrogation room and silent infiltration. Yeah, the rifle doesn't seem super necessary here. I could see us being wrong about that though. Teller interrogation room. Okay. Silent infiltration, if we pop it, we ready ourselves and confuse Loki, which is like, seems somewhat relevant. It's like fine. Because we're going to knock out Malekith with a basic activation. Yeah, it's fine. We'll try it. So we'll play it. Then we will attack for 1, 2, 3, and we'll use Domineering Force. So this is overkill. This draws a card though, so we attack for 7. It doesn't have overkill. Like it is literally overkill, but not overkill. So we attack for 7. So we'll get rid of this. That defeats Malekith. And when we defeat Malekith, the place 2 shatter counters, so we're at 5 shatter counters. Now we have a whole bunch of cascading triggers here. Doesn't go into victory display. So triggers. Combat Specialist draws a card. Silent Infiltration readies our hero. It confuses. We remove 2 threat, so we'll do it from here. When we clear new Jotunheim, it says choose a group in your pod. Firstly, place 3 shatter counters, so we're at 8 shatter counters. Choose a group in your pod, then place 1 synergy counter on the Feigned Retreat environment. Okay. This is Feigned Retreat. This is gone. Feigned Retreat has 1 counter on it. I'm just going to use a blue die because it's right here. When an identity would take any amount of damage, remove 1 synergy, prevent 4 of that damage. Okay, so we have a very good don't die button. We can draw a card with Skilled Investigator because we removed a thing. And then, that's really good. That's really good. And then Interrogation Room, we can remove 1 threat because we defeated a minion. I'm assuming these counters are going to be really good. And the thing is, we have been very aggressively grabbing minions and grabbing side schemes. And that seems like the way that you get these counters. So we are probably having way more counters than on average people you expect to have at this point, which is going to serve us quite well. I can't imagine a better draw. We'll do, we attack for 3. So I'm just going to waste a bit of damage here. We'll do Cybernetic Arm, Infiltration to play Electric Discharge. Electrical Discharge is going to do 5 damage and stun. And now Loki the Wretch is defeated. So we have to read the text on it. So Loki the Wretch says, when the villain would be defeated, place 5 shatter counters here. So more purple die. So we're at 13. Flip the card instead. Fading Figment, D2. When revealed, shatter the illusion. So we have to go grab that card called Shatter the Illusion. It's just like a text card. And so we have to finish this text. Shatter the Illusion. Do I have this card? I do. When a Fading Figment is revealed, follow these steps to shatter Loki's illusion. Remove each shatter counter from Fading Figment, then deal damage to Loki, God of Lies, equal to the number of shatter counters. So we did 13 damage. So we've already done more than half the damage. So this goes down to 7. I think there's an interrupt here because Loki, God of Lies, will kick in here because Loki, God of Lies says if it has 10 or fewer, flip this card. Now we're Loki, God of Lies 2. Oops. This says when revealed, each group in standard mode attaches a set aside intense focus to the Avatar Loki villain in the game area. But there's none. There is none. FFG, where? There is no Avatar of Loki and villain in play. There's just an illusion. I don't think this does what you think it does. This is not going to fail because I think we can assume what they want us to do, but this should fail here. Right? Set aside intense focus to the Avatar of Loki villain in their game area. There's no Loki intense villain in our game area. There's only a Fading Figment. Whatever, we'll just attach it to where we think it should go. So we need to standard mode attach intense focus to their game area. Each group in extra mode flips intense focus to its total focus. And then this thing just has seemingly 7 health left. Okay. Worlds Collide's over there. This is intense focus. Permanent Avatar of Loki gains +2 hit points and steady. Okay, so these stuns and confuses don't work anymore. When revealed in standard mode, discard the top 2 cards in the counter deck and the top 5 cards of each player deck. This is meant to be like the Loki tricksiness. This doesn't really mean anything to me. So card 5 of our deck. So we get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we're decking out this turn. And then the top 2 cards in the counter deck. I don't know why this matters. We got rid of Fenris and the Door Between Worlds, a really scary one. Okay, so this is here. Then we have to continue doing the Shatter the Illusion. Swap the Fading Figment in play with a random set-aside villain Avatar of Loki side face up, then set the hit point style of Avatar of Loki to its printed hit point value. Okay, so we're going to roll a die. We have 3 more Lokis, so left will be 1, 2. That's the middle one. It's Loki the Miscreant, coming in with 15 health plus 2, so 17 health. Cool. It has no when revealed text, so we don't have to jump to it. And then deal each player face down a counter card. Okay, so we shattered the illusion. This Figment, I think it's just returned to the bin. I'm not sure if this one can come back. Swap, yeah, so I guess it can come back. So this is Loki the Miscreant. So I think we just did everything we were meant to do there. So after you resolve the treachery, place 1 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on the side scheme. That's scary. These counters are gone. Force interrupt when the villain will be defeated, place 5 threats. So we just need to get 2 more shatter counters and that's it. Okay, this got pretty messy up here. We'll just spread this out. The stun and confuse are not going to land. There's no way to get rid of intense focus, so it's just going to be steady the whole game. And I think that's it. That's all we had to do. Oh no, we're ready. We can attack for 3. Cool, down to 14. And we'll pass. We have this like feigned retreat. It's an interrupt when an identity would take any amount of damage, so we can just sit on that. We don't have to fire it preemptively. We're drawing a lot of encounter cards. I guess that discard did kind of catch us. So 1, 2, Armor in the Raft. Draw a second encounter card. And we'll shuffle. Yeah, I'm not convinced that this should attach to something. Like, you understand the intention, but I'm pretty sure at the time there's no avatar to attach it to. I think it should say attach it to the Figment. I don't know. Maybe it matters for other groups. I doubt it, though. Okay, we draw 3 more cards. All we have to do is 14 damage plus 2 more. So ideally, we play another, like, that 0-cost card I can't remember the name of, that searches for a side scheme, and then we clear the side scheme. And then we defeat Loki, or we just defeat 1 big minion. 3, discharge, perfect. Prof, metal punch. Okay, so we draw 1 big minion, we're a good spot. So we might be happy that we're drawing this many encounter cards. This goes to 1. Loki now attacks us, the Miscreant. So the text will only matter once we start doing treacheries, right? Yeah. So attacking for 3 and a card. I don't think we'll block because we have the Feigned Retreat button, so we'll just take it. We have no arm block, so 3 and a card. 4/5, drawing near. That's a lot of damage. Maybe we should be scared. I just want to check. Feigned Retreat says when you would take any amount of damage, so it doesn't have to be from an attack. So if we draw the encounter card that does 2 damage to us, we can always protect ourselves with this. If we draw 2 of them, I guess we lose, but I guess we've seen 1 already. Dark Designs. Oh, that's scary. That's actually quite scary. Oh no, this doesn't do anything. Well, no, this does do something, but not what we think it should do. So this says place 1 pursuit counter. And because this hits 4, we don't do the rest of this text. We just go grab our quick strike Nemesis. So, wow, we have to do the Feigned Retreat button or we lose. So actually we can just straight die here. If we draw one of those cards that says take 2 damage, we just die. No way around it. This is Crossbones, our Nemesis. Hold on, I'll just grab it. So Crossbones, quick strike for 5. Oh, actually, no, we could defend. I think we have to defend here. It sucks to defend because then we're exhausted and we can't fire Specialist, but I think it's in our best interest to block here so that we don't die to the encounter card. Because Crossbones is attacking for 5. We don't want to take it, so we'll just defend for 2. Take no damage. We put Hydra Hit Squad into play. So this adds more small minions to the decks. That's sometimes good for us. But now the minions, and also, mind you, Crossbones has +2 health, +1 attack. So technically attacking for 3. And we'll shuffle these in the deck. Next card, Sinister Strike. Yeah, this is bad. This is quite bad. I'm glad we got Feigned Retreat, but yeah, these were some really bad encounter cards. We could still die. If there's one more attack, we die, and or if there's just the encounter card that says take 1 damage, we die. Or take 2 damage. Oofa doofa. Okay, Sinister Strike. So we place 1 counter on Proceed by the Past. Loki now attacks us for 3 and a card. Oh, hold on. We were meant to do Loki the Miscreant on the first card we revealed. So Loki the Miscreant says, after you resolve a treachery, place 1 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on a side schemes. So this will go up. Sinister Strike, where we attack for 3 and a card, we can't block. 4 damage. We have to use Feigned Retreat, which says remove a counter. Prevent 4 of that damage, so we're still alive. We put 1 here, 1 here. I mean, this looks bad. Stories and Lies, when revealed. Swap the Avatar of Loki in play with a random set-aside Avatar of Loki. Then, if Loki the Knave or the Miscreant is in play, he schemes. If Loki the Wretch is in play or Rascal, he attacks. So we have a 1 in 3 chance of surviving, 2 in 3 chance of dying right here. Okay. Let's roll the die. That was a really bad encounter card. We had no minions. Maybe, sorry, allies. We should have a minion. So we have to swap them. So again, if we get exactly Loki the Knave, we might be okay. Oh, no, we can't die. Hold on. We can't die. We just go to Alter Ego. I don't care. In fact, maybe, yeah, wait, I totally forgot. We actually have a Forced Interrupt. When Endeni would be defeated, don't defeat them. We might be fine here. So we're going to roll a die. 1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2. So we're getting Loki the Knave. I mean, we're going to have problems, but everything else will be fine. So it's Loki the Knave. Oh, wait, we actually rolled the 1 in 3 anyways. This is worse for us. We actually wanted to die there, I think. So when Loki the Knave or Loki the Miscreant is in play, he schemes with +1 scheme in expert mode. So he's now scheming for 3 and a card. This is very likely to blow up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go to 8. So this advances. So bad thing happens. So Mischief and Mayhem says, when this would be completed, remove all threat and place 1 threat on collide. So when this is the second threat, we lose. So that's fine. Then it resolves. We put 1 threat here and then 1 threat here because we revealed the thing. And we survive. So that was sketch. Oh, that was really, really sketch. Yo, Ludmilla, how's it going? Hopefully you're well. I saw some of your comments in some of the older videos. Hopefully you're doing okay. We just got Trickster Takeover today, or on Friday in Canada. This is my first playthrough, and things were going really well until that last turn, and then things were a bit different. Okay. Oh my god. I wanted to die so we could jump down, but we did roll lose the 1 in 3, we can say. So things that we can do. We need to knock out Crossbones. That'll help. Knocking out crossbones. Oh, no. It's Loki the Knave. We actually don't do the one threat on everything because Loki the Knave has different text. Loki the Knave says, after you resolve a treachery, deal 1 damage to your identity, 1 damage to an ally you control. So we're actually on 1 health because we don't resolve the miscreant. We resolve the knave because the knave saw the after the resolution. I'm not sure if the card that wasn't there still should resolve. I'm guessing it doesn't, but that might be a really technical rules thing. I don't know. Hit me up in the comments. Okay. I'm happy you're resting crossbones. How do we play this hand? We can knock out crossbones by playing 2 for Metal Punch. That will draw us no cards. So this is a really awkward hand. Like we drew all expensive cards, relatively expensive cards, and we are exhausted. So we have to play Metal Punch. There's no way around it to knock out crossbones. The other option is we don't knock out crossbones and we electrical discharge instead. If we electrical discharge, we can also play our armor and then we can have 2 confuse, or sorry, 2 stun. Oh, but not 2 confuse. Okay, another option is we play Prof X. Prof X confuses Loki. We jump down. We put 1 threat here plus 2 much more for crossbones. That seems fine. And then we can jump down to heal. That also may be okay. If we don't knock out crossbones, we can't clear 3 threat. But I think if we just hold on to... maybe it's hard to kill crossbones if we don't do it today. But next turn we'll have 3 damage plus draw a card. So actually this is a really interesting crossroad here. Because Prof X gets us the confuse, which is good. We can jump down because we have steady. So that's fine. So that's okay, but that's a lot of our hand. And then we don't use our arm. We can knock out crossbones to do 1 damage to Loki, clear 3 threat from this. But then we are 1 health. And then if we die, we die. So we can't jump down safely because we're doing 1, 2, 3 here. And after you resolve a treachery, deal 1 damage to your identity. Oh shit. After you resolve, deal 1 damage to your treachery. We just die to this half of the time, don't we? Any reason to not let the damage flip you down? We lose. That's the problem. This is on 1 threat. If it hits 2 threat, we lose. So if we ever get knocked out, we lose the game. So the whole game is dependent on not resolving a treachery. Which, like, I don't know. We did shuffle 2 more minions into the deck, so that might help. But if we reveal a single treachery, we die. If we take a single damage, we die. And we can't recover because we're exhausted. We definitely should have realized we can't die and then just got ourselves knocked down to alter ego. That would have been for the best. Turns out it would have ducked crossbones, I think. And that'd be even better because we'd be ready here. We definitely should have like gone out of the way to die. So I think we have to hope. There's no way to deal with that. So I think we have to hope. So that means we have to play the armor because it's the only thing that gives us plus health. So we're going to play. I think we have to block next turn. This is the only way that we're not risking the whole game because winter armor gets us extra health. And we need that because if we draw treachery, we die. So we'll do that. We'll do that. So we'll pitch 1, 2. Oh boy. Wait, no, we can't do that. That leaves us with this hand. So we have to electrical discharge, stun Loki. Oh god, this is so cooked. I'm surviving, caught whatever upper respiratory thing my wife had and it absolutely obliterated me. Hit me way harder than it did her. So last week I wasn't feeling up to playing some games or doing much of anything. As a result, I had time to finally catch up on pretty much all of your old MC games. Well, hey, hopefully you're feeling better. It's definitely that sort of season where that sort of stuff catches up. So hopefully you and your wife are doing better. Maybe the videos gave you something nice to do, but yeah, hopefully you're feeling better soon, huh? I'm like still constantly in sniffles mode since like, it's been like a month and a half now. But yeah, hope you're well. Yee, this is bad. There's no way that this is not bad. So I think the best thing we can do is stun crossbones and then block Loki. I think that's the only play we have. So we'll do 1, 2 to electrical discharge. So we're hoping to top deck more damage. Electrical. Yo, Jai, I recognize this camera angle. How you doing? You've seen the behind the scenes. Are you playing in the Gunslinger next week? They've been really fun to watch. So 5 damage to crossbones. Is stunned. That'll deal with that for a moment. Then we'll just spend 2 on our armor, which recovers us 3 and gives us steady, which like, that's fine. I wish that we didn't have to block this round. Like we could risk it all, but nah, it's pretty bad risk. I don't know if there's a better way to play that turn. That was not great. our steady button's already here. We'll pass. Drawing an arm block would be perfect. I think we have 2 arm blocks in the deck. If we draw an arm block here, we're actually good. If we don't draw an arm block, it's bad. It's not good. One way or another. Superpower, clear the area. Arm block, infiltration, arm block 1 time. No arm blocks, just some yellow cards. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. This goes to 1. Loki is attacking us for 2 and a card. Okay, so 2 and a card means that there's a chance that this just wipes us. After we do this, we have to reveal an encounter card. It's a treachery. He's doing 1 damage. So functionally, we only have 3 damage. Thanks to you and Axie for doing this. Yeah, the Gunslinger thing is really sick. Watching like the other, like the Chinese Netrunner players, how they play, and their decks are like slightly off meta. Their play patterns are slightly different, but still good. It's been good. Next week is Augie and Jat, and it ends in a tie. I'm overruling Axie and jumping his final boss. Was Axie meant to be the final boss? That is such a funny Axie position. Man, the game versus Alpi got like really lucky to that R&D held there. I wonder if HQ was missed on the cup, but that was a very exciting game. Did you already do the specialized thing? It does not have victory. Sorry. We already did specialized training. Oh no, this is the other one. This is superpower training. We have 2 similar looking cards. This one, when we defeat it, it adds an upgrade from our deck or discard pile. The other one is the specialization one. That one is in the victory display. She's totally recovered. And I'm like back to 90%. Thanks for the kind words. And it was great to have a bunch of crash space to space out to in front of my sick cocoon. So thanks for that too. Building a good sick cocoon is super important. I reckon you did a good job. Okay, so at least we have one way or another infiltration to get out of here, but we have to block. Legally, we have to block. Blocking for 2. 1, 2. Low boost 3. Okay, so we take 1 damage. This is a minion. So now we have to reveal not something that does 2 damage. Okay, that's great. This is, well, it might be a bad card, but it's not a treachery, so we don't take a damage. Attach to your identity. Identity cannot ready. I'm in danger. When revealed, exhaust your identity. Nailed it. Hero action, spend 2 resources of the same type, discard this card, and place 1 shatter counter on the avatar of Loki. We need 2 counters on the avatar of Loki. Whoa, this game's getting interesting. Superpowered, all good. I was just to make sure. Yeah. I think this card only has 1 art printing. They did new art for the other one, which is good. Okay, so we're exhausted. Our hand has literally no damage. So there is no play besides one way or another or clear the area to draw a card. We need to draw damage. We need to draw an attack event. If we don't draw an attack event, we are cooked. So I'm going to go for the big draw card. One way or another, search and counter deck for discard pile for a scheme. I'm assuming there's some in here. There's at least 1. There's at least 2. So, ooh. Okay, so let's decide which one we want to go on, because they're both kind of interesting. We have to put one of these into play. Oh, I don't know why I shuffled the deck for, obviously. Or if Stasis is one of the options. It has a Crisis, which, like, I don't care. We have bigger problems. Discard the top 2 cards in counter deck. 3 cards in Expert. If a Treachery was discarded, exhaust your identity. That text doesn't matter because we're exhausted, so that's totally fine. But the other option is Lofty Goals, which has an acceleration, which might be more scary. But if we defeat this, we can place 2 shatter counters on Loki the Knave, which puts 2 shatter counters plus defeating Loki is 5 shatter counters, which is 7 shatter counters, which will eventually defeat Loki. So this is a more direct way to win the game, but this has no text besides Crisis. If this advances, we lose, so that's bad. That's not good. I think I'm going to keep this in the deck, and I'm going to go for this right now. In theory, you can go grab a minion to clear it with infiltration. So like that draws a card that's like sort of a cantrip. But on 4 means we can clear this. On 5, we can clear this with interrogation room, skilled investigator. Sorry, interrogation room, Winter Soldier if we draw an attack event, and clear the area. So I think we actually can go for 5 here. And then that puts us within striking distance. So we'll do this one. Hopefully we clear it this turn. Okay. So now we put one of those in play so we can draw 3 cards. We are still like in super dire straits here. But we have no more Confuse in our deck, so like we have to just hopefully draw damage. Oh yeah, mind you, Crossbones isn't stunned anymore. Did not attack. So now we draw 3. Not a damage card. Not a damage card. Nick Fury. Arm block. Okay. That's not good. That's not good. This is bad. Okay. This is bad. This is not good. We can't play another. This is bad. I've been thinking about this. This is not good. This is bad. We haven't done it yet because she's been very busy, but my wife has agreed to try out champions on Tabletop Simulator, which is exciting. I found her a Protection Shadowcat deck and me an Interesting Justice X23 deck. And we're eventually going to be going through Mutant Genesis. Oh, that's a great box. I think you're going to have a good time. I think Shadowcat's like really fiddly. So if your partner's like good at that sort of thing, it really cares about timing structure and understanding what's considering defending. But if you can nail those lines, it's like a very, very satisfying hero. Let alone maybe you're all just Shadowcat fans too, which I'm not too familiar with the character. Things are bad. Once again, we find ourselves in a bad spot. We probably have to jump down, but this will go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have no way of defeating Crossbones. I'm just going to put a 2 here because it's hard to see. But attacks for 3, thwarts for 2. Well, shit. So the only play we can make here is clear the area of Mischief and Mayhem and hopefully draw an attack. We just need a way to do 2 damage to Crossbones. We just need to do 2 damage to Crossbones. That's all we need here. So I think we have to do clear the area. We're going to clear this. Please be a damaged card. Yes, we may be fine. We actually might be okay here. I think we're going to get punished for not taking the 5 threat one. No, we're fine. We're actually fine. We can come back from this. Okay. Yeah, we can come back from this. Okay, we got choices. We have good choices here. So we can electrical discharge Loki to stun Loki, and then we can arm block Crossbones. That doesn't make sense. We'll just arm block Loki and then knock out Crossbones here. So we're going to do 1, 2 electrical discharge. So I'm glad we drew just enough cards. So this does 5 damage to Crossbones, knocking out Crossbones. The stun doesn't matter. Triggers. We defeated a minion, so we can take 2 off of this. We can do 1 more because of Interrogation Room. Nailed it. We can spend 2 resources of the same kind to get rid of this. Discard this card, place 1 shatter counter. So we now are allowed to ready. We have to hold on to arm block, so we'll just do 1, 2, and play superpower training. Okay, we are going to survive. We're going to survive. We're fine. We're fine. Honestly, we're doing good. There's some ways we could die, but I'm not thinking about them. My hope is to get my partner to play through Rise of the Red Skull as Captain America and Bucky because they're 2 favorite characters. I think that deck is actually really good together. They're a good team. And Rise of Red Skull is just such a fun box. Okay, we could jump down if we were braver, but arm block, actually, we're in a good spot. So I think we're okay. I need to get a hand on how this game works, kind of just vibing. If you have any questions, SRN, don't hesitate to ask. I'm trying to make it make sense, but this is admittedly a bit more of a complicated scenario. The short of the long is we need to keep our health up and the villain's health down. And either we lose by threat, which is added every turn, or by taking damage. And what the villain does, either adding threat or attacking you, is depending on what side of your hero you're on. That's the short of the long of it. So we'll pass. Have to hold on to arm block. Energy. Metal Punch. We might be able to get out of here. Sonic Rifle's perfect. Oh, we do have more Confuse in our deck. And then a Winter Rifle. Okay. All right. This goes to 2 threat because of the thing. Loki's attacking for 2 in a card. We will... When do we have to do arm block? Arm block says when an enemy attacks. So we have to do it now. We'll do arm into arm block. So this does 4 damage because we boost the damage and we can take no damage from this attack. So Loki's attacking, big boost, 1, 2, 3, 4. We take no damage. That is a really bad card. A good thing that we discarded that. And then we reveal a card. Nice. So firstly, I wanted to see this card because it's just lovely. But it's also not a treachery, so Loki the Knave is not going to hurt us. Attach an ally, otherwise gain surge. Okay, never mind. We're not going to read that card. We don't know what it does. Oh, that's bad. This is how we lose. It's all over. So after we resolve this, we have to take a damage. So we're hoping that we lose the die roll, the 1 and 3, win the die roll because Loki is swapping out. Swap the avatar with a random set-aside avatar of Loki. There's 3 of them. Ideally, we get, again, the Miscreant. Otherwise, we get attacked. And the attack ones are probably less good for us because we're at 3 health. So we could just die to it. So if that's the case, this matters. We are looking, I think, for a 1-2 on this die. It'll be 1, 2, 5, 6. Okay, this is not good. This is bad. This is not good. So the Loki swaps out. And then this Loki will attack us. It's Loki the Wretch, yeah. So Loki the Wretch, what are you up to? Are you the first one we had? Yeah, this is the first one. So actually, it discarding a card will matter here. So when the Loki the Wretch activates against you, we discard the top card in counter deck. It is not a treachery, so we're only being attacked for 2 in a card. We have to block here for obvious reasons. And hope for the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're dead. Ah, shit. That's exactly lethal. We die to a 3 boost here, and we got a 3 boost here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We block 2. We technically don't die because of interrupt, but this hits 2 and we die. Damn. Okay, on standard we got. We did get got, but we got caught slightly behind. The die rolls were bad. We made one really bad tactical decision, which was not dying. Like we could have allowed ourselves to be defeated, because I forgot when we're defeated, we don't lose the game the first time because there's a bit of a threshold here. But if we survive this, say we get attacked for 2 boost instead, we're on 1 health. So say that we're on 1 health, what happens? Say we do survive that. How many 3 boosts were left in the deck? How salty should we get? That was the only 3 boost in the whole deck. Okay, only slightly salty. So here we're still exhausted. Still not in a good spot, let's be honest. But here all we have to do is we have a recovery turn. We do like 1, 2, 3. We play the sonic rifle. We confuse. We jump down, and then we like get out of this hole. All right, let's run it back. We can do this. We have time for one more game tonight. I'm looking forward to actually watching through the setup of this one. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. We're going to have to set it up again in a moment. I think we made some maybe subpar decisions, especially the early minion we grabbed on turn 1 actually really mattered. But we had a really good start here. Most cards are worth 1 resource, and you discard them to pay for other cards in your hand. Some cards are worth 2 or more resources, but generally it's 1 or more. Oh yeah, I should explain how this game works in terms of the economy. So this is a card. I'll show you a player card, right? So this is Prof X. Prof X has a lot of text on it, but you can ignore it. But to play Prof X, we have to spend 3 resources because that's the number in the top left corner. That's the cost. And resources aren't like carried over between turns like, you know, Arkham Horror or Netrunner. Instead, you pitch cards from your hand, and you see that thing in the bottom left corner, that little blue icon. That means that Professor X pitches for 1 mental resource. There are 4 kinds of resources: mental, physical, energy, and wild. They inherently don't matter. They're all worth 1 resource. Certain cards will require or get benefits from using a certain resource. But say that I have like a 5-card hand, I want to play Professor X. I would say 1, 2, 3 goes to the discard pile, and we play Prof X. That's how simple it is. The economy in this game is like, it plays like Slay the Spire. Every turn you draw up to your hand size, and then you're just trying to make the best out of your hand. And eventually you build a board, and your board also has abilities on them you can fire. There's not like an action economy. Well, there is an action economy, but it's not an action economy. You can do as many actions as you want until you're exhausted because you ran out of resources and all your cards are exhausted. Slay the Spire styles. Yeah, this is more like Flesh and Blood. If you know Flesh and Blood, it's that sort of engine where every turn you're trying to like make the best out of your hand. You don't pitch stack because you shuffle your deck when you run out of cards, but it's very much like that. All right, let's run it back. Loki was cool. Loki actually was very interesting. It seemed like a good difficulty level, as much as it definitely got us there. We can't say it didn't. All right, so let's reset the board. Now this setup is a bit more convoluted because this is meant to be a scenario that you are able to play in massively multiplayer. So there's like this Loki with massive health and like an extra main scheme. A lot of this stuff is not standard, but this is a specifically weird scenario because it's a standalone. All right, how do we set this up again? We have to extricate our scenario, our what's it called? Our nemesis set. Hey, Coriora. That's probably it, right? Appreciate your videos. Thank you for explaining your moves as you play. Definitely helps players improve. Thank you. Hey, thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that that's coming across. That is the intention. We try and explain as much as we can. I think I'm going to try and make some video content that's focused specifically on the new player experience, because there's still a lot of posts. This game can be quite tricky, especially if you don't come from a card game background and play games like this, where a lot of people like struggle to beat like, you know, core set stuff and claw. And a lot of it is just like, if you think of the game in a certain way, you're suddenly set up better to make better decisions. Maybe that's like a tautology. That's true about all card games or board games. But trying to explain why I value things, I think is like, not that I'm the best player in the world, but you know, it pushes you hopefully in the right direction. Glad it's been landing well. If you ever have questions, don't hesitate, huh? Okay, setup on this one's relatively easy. So we're good to go. We have to put a random avatar of Loki into play, and then that's it. Actually, really simple setup. Ignore all those cards. So we have to roll a die, 1 to 4, 5 and 6 is a reroll. We haven't seen all of the Lokis. Loki the Rascal, I think, is a new little friend we have here. What's this guy do? Loki the Rascal. Oh, 15 health, standard. After you resolve a boost card, oops, during Loki's activation, if the card's a treachery, either deal it to yourself or spend a resource of any type. I don't like this guy. This guy sucks. This guy's not good for us. Only attacks for 1, schemes for 1, though. But dealing yourself an extra treachery. The treacheries in this deck were actually really quite bad. We don't like treacheries. We like minions. Or spend 1 resource, also annoying. So we might set up our resource generators a bit more aggressively. We still haven't played our Helicarrier once, but it's only a matter of time. And just so we reiterate, because it is important to remember this, Andre, is that if we defeat, we jump down to alter ego, we set our hit points to 1. The first time we die, we have a get out of jail card free, but this goes to 1 counter. When this hits 2 counters, we lose the game. It can get its second counter by letting the main scheme advance. Answering questions? Okay, that's it. I think that's it. That should be it. I don't feel like we're forgetting anything, but that's kind of what forgetting anything is all about. All right, we got this. We got this. It's actually technically possible that we one-shot Loki. If we just search out all of the big minions, I think we can get 15, what are they called? Shatter counters. And then we knock out Loki once and it does 20 shatter counters worth of damage. It's also possible. That's really funny. Okay, let's give this a shot. We've shuffled enough. Loki should be on 15 health. Okay. Enhance. First card, superpower training. I mean, not necessary that we keep this. It goes and grabs one of our best upgrades, which the rifle is good, but I don't think we need to keep this. Strength, we definitely keep a double. This card only has 2 resources on it. It doesn't do anything, but it's twice as good for paying for cards. Our goal is always play one way or another because the card's cracked. Ideally, we only keep this if we have a way to remove a lot of threat. So that's contextual. This removes enough threat to feel comfortable with that line. Removes 2 threat, draws a card. Safe house. We kept this last time. We only fired it once, which makes me think maybe that was bad. But Loki only gets steady once we advance. So if we keep this, we get a minion guaranteed. So probably. 6th card, clear the area. 2nd one, we don't keep that. So our mulligan's a partial mulligan. This is good. Safe house is okay. One way or another is okay. Drawing the arm would suck. This clear the area is probably okay. I think safe house, we can just go for the Draugr if we don't find a big thing. If we find a big attack, we'll go for something else. Don't draw the arm. One way or another, can't play more than 1 around. Infiltration, ooh, that means we can do with something big if we really need to. But we don't have any big attacks, so we probably won't do that. All right. Before we do anything, we're going to use our alter ego ability, throw out this limit once per round card to go search our deck and discard pile for our arm. 2nd from the bottom. That's twice in a row. It's like right on the bottom. This is good. This is part of our kit, and it's really important because it generates a wild every turn for attacks, which we don't have, but we'll draw one into one with one way or another. Just you watch. Okay, the question is whether we play the safe house. I think we do. It gives us the Draugr. Defeating the Draugr gives us 2 threat. If the Draugr survives to the next round, that's a Morth 2 threat. Kind of circular logic, but we will pitch the infiltration to play safe house 30. This is the 2nd best safe house, I think, out of the tier list of safe houses. We'll exhaust this to search and counter deck and discard pile for a minion and put in play. Or sorry, it's just the deck, I think, on this one. And we'll just get the little 2 health guy. He's our buddy. This thing has 2 health with guard, so you can't attack the villain until you deal with this. And when we defeat it, there's a chance that it'll come back next turn, which is fine. This thing doesn't really do anything. And we like defeating minions. Safe house 30 then draws a card. Metal punch, okay. We could have gone for a bigger minion, but what did we know? Notably, in explaining for newer players mode, Safe House 30 is one of the few cards in the game, and every kit has a couple of these that's alter ego action. So you can't play it in hero mode. You're allowed to once per turn, for no cost, jump from alter ego to hero or vice versa. So we had to do all this sort of stuff before we jump up, and this is where we can play our heroic cards. Speaking of heroic cards, roar, one way or another. I'll put it here so we don't forget. So search the deck. I'm making a mess of this. For a side scheme put into play, draw 3 cards. Or not put into play, reveal. There's a difference in this game. So the most threat we can clear easily is 4. So let's just go for 4 threat. Actually, hold on. There might be one with 4 threat that gives us counters. That's probably a bit better. But we can clear 4 threat. This is 5 threat. We can clear 4 threat. This is 3 threat. That's fine too. Doesn't look like there's any player schemes. Oh, there is. No, but this exhausts us. We can't go for it. We'll still do this one. So side schemes, they have threat on them. You can spend your activations and your threat cards to remove threat from them. Once they remove all their threat, they're gone. So it's another kind of thing. Think of it like a minion with health, but you attack it in different ways. They just made the card sideways and you no longer think of it as a minion. Weird how that is. Villain gains Stalwart, so they can't be stunned or confused as long as that's there. That's the 2 big status counters, status effects that slow enemies down. We draw 3 cards. Give us a good setup. Nope. Nope. No, that's bad. That's not good. That's quite bad. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay, so we want to defeat the Draugr buddy. So we have no way to get more tempo off of our defeat. So we'll just attack for 2, which defeats the Draugr buddy. So when defeated, the defeating player discards the top card in the counter deck. If it is a treachery, which it's not, so this thing is just discarded. This hand is really not good. Now our hero ability says whenever we defeat a minion, remove 2 threat from his game. Okay, so we definitely are not going to use 2 metal punches. So I'll play metal punch for clear the area. This removes 2 threat. If it removes the last threat, draw a card. So we'll clear a Trickster Takeover. Okay, it loses Stalwart. Professor X was a good draw, I think. So if we want to play Prof X, we can confuse Loki, which Prof X is going to block an attack in 3 thwart. So that's probably fine. And then that means we can hold arm block, which is actually kind of bad. So not a great hand. Prof X is not that good. The confuse is nice. We'd like to be able to jump down because we have safe house. So the confuse is actually worth something here. But if we do that, we can't play an attack with a cybernetic arm and all these cards are useless. So the other option is we just do a big old attack into Loki, but I'm not actually that excited to deal 8 damage to Loki because then we can't play this hand at all. So I think we actually do just play Prof X. So we'll do 1, 2, 3 for the Professor. After Prof enters play, we're going to confuse the villain. So the next time the villain schemes, it doesn't. Prof has 3 health, which is really ugly because it doesn't do anything. It only lasts 1 turn. And then we might hold on to Metal Punch because we could draw an infiltration to get a minion. I think this card we want to keep and just do consistent damage. But actually, no, we probably don't. This is our second Metal Punch. We have 3 in the deck that do big damage. We're going to be drawing 1 encounter card. If it's a minion, we want the Metal Punch. But otherwise, we want to set up. We're going to be dropping down next turn. I think I will hold on to it, but it might not be right. And we'll pass. Drop to 5. Energy. Okay. Helicarrier, sick. We'll set that up. Sonic Rifle is also nice. And then we have one way or another. So that's actually pretty good. It's not a bad hand. This goes to 1 threat. Loki the Rascal has text. So Loki says, gonna attack. After you resolve a boost card during Loki's activation, if the treachery, either we spend a resource or we give it to yourself as an encounter card. So we'll block with Prof X. So we're attacked for 1 and a card. It's not a treachery. It does 2 damage. Prof X is technically still alive. Our 1 encounter card is Red Room Programming. Okay, this is our obligation. You may flip to Alter Ego form. Okay. Exhaust Bucky to remove this card from the game, or discard the highest printed cost card from your hand and take indirect damage equal to its cost. So we're just going to exhaust. We'll flip down and exhaust and remove this from the game. Because there's no reason to do that. Oh, I forgot. We didn't shuffle this into our deck. Should have checked that at the beginning of the game. So I'm just going to pretend it was in the bottom. It's not a good card to draw on turn 1 anyways. Actually, it would have been fine to draw in our opening hand, considering we wasted a bunch of resources, but I just need to repair that. And Prof X is discarded at the end of the turn. Okay, so we are down here, which is actually kind of great because we can save house 30 and then hop up. We're going to end up drawing like 4 cards this round, and we did keep the Metal Punch. So this actually turned out to be a good decision because we can draw a lot. Okay, so here we'll do save house 30. We are allowed to go get a big thing. So I want to do something that has 8 health, and ideally we get something that puts counters on Loki the Rascal. So search the deck for a minion. So Malekith, what's the biggest we can do? Hey, so text like this, Says after, no, not you, but almost you. So this says after the character attacks Laufey, discard the top card of the encounter deck. Laufey has to survive that, right? Because as after the attack finishes, so we defeat Laufey, this doesn't fire. I'm like 80% sure of that. Because after the attack finishes, the damage happens first. So I think we want to go for Laufey here. Because we get a synergy counter on United Front. I'm dropping cards. And we get 3 shatter counters. That seems fine. I think I'm going to go for it. We'll put Laufey into play. Big guy. Dies just like the rest of them. 7. After character attacks Laufey, discard the top card in the counter deck. If it's a treachery, stun that attacker. Okay. So that's fine. I think when we defeat it, that text doesn't fire because it doesn't see it after it's defeated. Safe House draws a card. We get a Winter Widow. The card's useless, so you can only play it when we have Black Widow in play. We'll hop up. And before we make any other decisions, I think we're going to start with one way or another. This just guarantees that we have something to remove 2 threat from. So search the counter deck for a scheme. I don't know why I shuffled the deck and then put into play. So threat's not that scary right now. This one exhausts our identity. We don't want to do that. We can just do one of the 5 or 6 threat ones. I'll do it for the 6 threat ones. I don't think it's a huge difference between 5 and 6 threat. And if we get rid of this thing, we add synergy counters and shatter counters. That all seems good fun. 6. And we have a confuse, so we're actually pretty good if the villain like schemes on us. It probably won't. All right, one way or another resolves. We draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Very good. All right. The question is what we do to set up. We're going to use our arm on the metal punch. I think we're going to get the helicarrier down. Finally, that feels good. And then we might just play Vivian. I don't think we're going to play the winter rifle. We haven't seen our support card yet. Oh, no, we did. It was the first card, the superpower training. So the rifle might not come back for a minute. But regardless, we'll do 1, 2, 3 with the arm, and we're going to do metal punch. Is there anything we can play that gets value from a minion dying? No. The metal punch says deal 7 damage. That's 8 damage because we use our arm with overkill. So Loki takes 1. Laufey is defeated. I don't think we have to fire Laufey's bad text, but the good text says place 3 shatter counters on the avatar. And then place 1 synergy counter on the unified front. I don't think we know what that one is. So this has a counter on it. That's a, whoa, this is good. Hold on, we might just use this immediately. Unified front, remove a synergy counter, generate 2 wild resources. That is absurd. They're all really good. The big thing with this is figuring out where to use them in context, because I think you can use these on other players. We remove 2 threat. Okay, I think we'll just try and tempo through this hand. So we can play electrical discharge. So this could be 1, 2. And then we could play helicarrier. I think there's a better way to do it. We do unified front and rifle for helicarrier. Helicarrier plus Winter Widow for discharge. Oh no, it's awkward. It's hard to play this many 3 to 2 cost cards. So helicarrier is good. We want to get that down. I think no matter what, we get this down. There's no way around it. So I'm going to do 1, 2. I'm going to do 1, 2. If we do 3, that leaves us with this. Then helicarrier plus a card can do discharge. That's probably better. So we'll do 1, 2, 3 for helicarrier. This Loki wants to hit us our resources, so we'll try and make sure we have resource generators. So this thing as an action, you can exhaust this to generate or reduce the cost of a card. So we'll reduce the cost of our next card, spend an energy, and then do electrical discharge. So this thing will do 4 damage. Oh, the villain should have taken 1 damage. I took the damage. Did I take the damage? Hold on. Yeah, I took the damage. The villain was meant to take the overkill damage, so we should be at 1. Did we really take no damage so far? Oh yeah, we didn't. Yeah, so Loki was meant to take the damage. So this does 4 damage to Loki, so Loki should take 5 damage. We spend energy, so we get a stun. Cool. That's it. That's a good turn. And we have, remember, these are resources, not that it'll matter, but we can use that at instant speed. And we'll drop. 1. Nick, great. Specialized training is there. Infiltration, we can clear New Jotunheim. Clear the area can help us with that, and another electrical discharge. So we might just like stun lock. This setup has been a lot better to us. This goes to 3. We get rid of the stun instead of attacking. 1 encounter card. It's Zax. I spelled Zax's name wrong. 6 health. Victory. Retaliate, 1. When revealed, discard the top 4 cards of your deck. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Haha, sucker. For each printed energy icon, take 1 indirect. There's no energy icons. When defeated, we get Zax into play. So this is now our kind of our target for this turn. Retaliate 1's a bit awkward. But we can probably deal with this. Back to us. Hanging out, was organizing my Marvel cards. Did you pick up, I'm not sure if you said, did you pick up Civil War yet, or are you waiting on it? Okay. 6 health, Retaliate. We have 5 health plus 2 from us, so we can deal with that. This is slightly getting out of hand, but not too bad. Nick Fury is really good at attacking Zax, so this might be an angle where we play United Front. I'm gonna generate 2 resources with this thing. Then we'll do 1 from the Helicarrier. And then I don't think there's a world where we play Infiltration, so then we'll play Nick Fury for 4. You have Civil War. Mad jealous. We'll draw 3 cards. It's usually what you do with this card. Because 3 cards means that you paid 1 for this and got a free block plus 2, whatever you're doing with it. Okay, good draws, because we're going to defeat Zax, so Winter's Mask is good. I don't think we're going to hold on to Arm Block here, so I'm just going to do Arm Block for Winter Mask, so we can get our Nemesis or minion defeating engine in play. Nick Fury will attack into Zax, taking Retaliate 1 and 1 consequential. We're down to 4. Now we have to discharge. Yeah, we do. So we'll generate 1 here. Electrical discharge. This is going to do 5 damage and stun, but that defeats Zax. Zax's text says that when Zax is defeated, it goes to the victory display, and we get our own personal copy of Zax, who is this Frontier. This is Zax, 4 health. Friendly. After Zax enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a card with an energy. Add it to your hand. Oh, Thwart's really good. Attack's fine, I guess. That's nice. Thwart for 3 is really good. So search the top 5 cards of your deck for an energy icon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has to be energy, it has to be printed. So this is our only option. I think we're going to add it. I don't think you can refuse the search here. Okay, so a couple things happen here. Firstly, we defeated a minion. I think we could have done these in another order if we wanted to, but Winter's Mask will draw a card. So we drew in our Silent Infiltration, and we can use our ability to remove 2 threat from here. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're trucking along really well now. So I'm assuming we just clear the area, play our armor, so we will. Clear the area, removes 2 threat. So we're going to clear New Jotunheim, which means we're going to draw a card. I'll just put that in my hand. And New Jotunheim, when it's cleared, we do its text. So it says, when defeated, place 3 shatter counters on Loki. So we're up on 6. I usually do base 5, but when in Rome. Choose a group in your pod. We're going to pick ourselves. Place 1 synergy counter on Feigned Retreat. I think that is the Don't Die button. Yeah, that's the Don't Die button, which is a bit early here, but we're not going to be upset to have that. It has 1 counter, which we can spend whenever we want to prevent 4 damage. Doesn't have to be attack. So we drew a card. It was a Black Widow. We're just going to spend 2 on Winter Armor. Speaking of Don't Die, this gives us +3 health. So this increases our health, and we get steady, which means we're a bit safer against stun or confuse. I think we'll Zax will thwart for 3. And I'm going to attack for 2. I'm not actually in love with it because I want to get these counters up to 15 because I think we can win when we do it. I think we can one-shot Loki, but we'll just attack for 2 damage and we'll pass. We have Nick for a blocker. We are going to deck out. We could consider jumping down, actually. If we jump down, we draw even more cards, and we can get a minion with Safe House, which actually I think we do jump down here. It's a bit scary because Loki could scheme. I'm jumping down, F it. Like, I don't like to jump down. It's risky when you're solo when you can draw a second encounter card, but I think it's so good to use Safe House to go grab a big minion because the big minion we can defeat to get more shatter counters, and that feels good. So we'll flip down. In Alter Ego, we're not going to use the Safe House. We could use the Safe House, actually, because we know the Draugr buddy has 0 scheme on it. That's really funny. Oh, we missed the Nick block here. Yeah, maybe we don't do this because we missed the Nick block, and using the Nick block is actually really good. It sucks the Nick misses the rotation. That's just not great. The deck cycle. Losing the Nick block feels bad. Yeah, okay, we won't jump down. We'll just take the Nick block. Love Winter Soldier. Wasteland, it's been really good so far. This is our first game, or second game against Loki. Tonight's our first night playing Trickster Takeover, and Loki actually got us on standard pretty good. We were kind of on the ropes for a minute. but we're coming back. This seems really comfortable so far. Infiltration, that's good. That's how we can get a minion. So we don't need Safe House. We have Wiccan, we have the Raft. The Raft has kind of underperformed in this scenario, or in this evening, honestly. Yeah, honestly, this evening we have not needed the Raft. I feel like the Raft actually shouldn't be in the deck, because playing 3 copies of Infiltration and Safe House, we're actually really good at getting minions that we don't need that sort of like infinite minion engine. And our thwarting is actually really good with Winter Soldier and Interrogation Room and all that other stuff that we don't also need the extra thwarting on Raft. I think Raft is probably not good for this deck. At least in solo. Maybe in multiplayer it's a different, but I don't have that much experience. I think Zac, I'm actually kind of underwhelmed with Friendly Zax. That seems like an ability that could fire whenever Zax attacks or activates, right? Getting this card that thwarts 6, doesn't block, and draws 1 card feels bad compared to the other ones. This one seems like the worst one by a mile. We draw 2 more cards. Oh, I gotta cut. We get Arm Block and Winter Rifle, so we could Arm Block here. Nah. Go to 1. We don't want to defeat Loki. We want Arm Block. So Loki the Rascal's attacking. We have to remember that we get an encounter card here. We have to deal with it. So attacking for 1 and a card. I'm going to block with Nick. It is an encounter card. So after you resolve a boost card, so we take 1 damage. Oh, wait, there's a boost card on this. Dark Arts. What's the boost? Dark Arts says, place 1 threat on the main scheme for each character you control. We control 3 characters. Oh, that's scary. Ooh, that's scary. Nick is knocked. And then we have to decide to either spend a resource or take Dark Arts as an encounter card. Dark Arts says search encounter deck for a minion and reveal it, which that's not a great time to do this because this is during the villain's activation, so we'd have to activate the minion against us, which is actually fine. No, we will deal this as an encounter card because that's a way that we can play our Arm Block, so that's good. We draw a 3rd encounter card. In theory, the order is like this, I guess. First card. Ooh, scary. Door Between Worlds. Oh, there's a lot of numbers on this. A lot of text on this. 7 threat per player. Victory 1. So we only defeat this once. Any player in your pod can thwart Door Between Worlds. Great. Each group in the pod places 3 shadow counters on their avatar. So that's better for multiplayer. Place 1 synergy counter on 1 of the energy environments. So we're going to have to read them all. This has Hazard, Crisis, Acceleration, so it doesn't get worse than that. Dark Arts. So this, we want to go grab something that has 4 health. So search and counter discard power for a minion and reveal it. Oh, no, yeah, we would have revealed it now. Wait, what does Loki say? I think Loki says deal it as an encounter card. So what I was saying is not true. Yeah, as a face down encounter card. So you don't reveal it right away. You reveal it now, which makes sense. So that means actually the Arm Block angle doesn't work because it's not being attacked. So this is a mistake. This is actually a mistake because we have 4 damage in our hand. Plus Wiccan. We don't have enough resources for Wiccan. We have 4 damage in our hand. Let's just go get the little guy. This seems like a little guy angle. Oh, Minotaur. Ooh, maybe Minotaur is the answer. How many treacheries are in the deck? I've never said Minotaur like that. I want to apologize. So if there are 5 treacheries in the counter discard, Minotaur activates against you. So Dark Arts is not in the discard pile. It's still resolving. So we have no treacheries. I think we're going to grab the Minotaur. So we put this into play. Minotaur gets toughness. Its when revealed doesn't happen and has 4 health. Our attack is going to have piercing, which is why we picked this, because we can deal with that. Okay, next card. Nowhere safe. That seems fine. We add 1 pursued counter. When this hits 4, we grab our Nemesis. It's a cool thing you can do. And oh, we have to shuffle this. Then we have to discard a card we control. You know what? I like our cards. I do like our cards. This draws a card a turn. I guess we get rid of the safe house. It's so weird to see like large multi-group rules on cards. Yeah, it's the first set. And I'll be honest, I don't fully understand the language. I don't know what a pod is. I don't know what a group is. I think a group is a group of pods. But I honestly don't fully understand the language, but it doesn't matter for what we're doing today. Holy crap, we have to get rid of that. Like, maybe this is an infiltration angle, but I think this is an infiltration angle and we just go get a draft. We hope we get something nice because we're allowed to hop down. I think we have to do infiltration. because clearing this seems super important. So we will helicarrier. Yeah. Yep. We'll play infiltration. So choose a number from 1 to 5. I'm going to pick 5. We discard 5 cards, remove 5 threat, and then we don't reveal the minion we put into play. Okay. Okay. Oh god, they're big. Please give us a smaller guy. We got only really big guys. Okay, so one of these is going to come into play. I'm just going to go out of the way and say that we're not going to grab the Mangog because the numbers on this are astoundingly big. So we'll just put that guy away. So it's either Malekith. This is bad. We might not want to do this. So Malekith attacks you, discard the top card of the treachery, deal it to yourself. That's bad. Or we can go get Hresvalgar, who we cannot defeat. We don't do them when revealed, but when defeated, 3 shatter counters, and we get the one that gives us a bigger attack. So the most amount of damage we can do here is 4 in toughness. They both scheme for 2. Oh boy, we're really dependent on Winter Mask drawing something smart here. This was maybe a mistake. I think we need the synergy counter to fix it. Hopefully the synergy counter is really good. But I think we have to go for Malekith because it's smaller. This is a cool card in Marvel Snap. Retaliate 1. Yo, Rory, you doing well? Hope it's been a good stream. It's been fun. It's been a new set. And so far, these encounters are actually really cool and interesting. I like these. So far, I like these scenarios a lot more than just about anything in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is sick. But we're learning them, which is, there's, pain points involved. Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, that's this. Then I think the only play is spend all of our money on a Winter Rifle. There's no top deck here that really saves us. But now when we attack, we have piercing and ranged and +2 attack. So we're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to attack. Do we want to defeat Malekith or we want to defeat the Minotaur? They're both really bad. So we're going to attack for 1, 2, 3, 4 with piercing and toughness. We defeat the Minotaur. When the Minotaur is defeated, place 2 shatter counters on Loki. We're on the way of shatter counter maxing. So we go to 8. So if this gets to 15, we can one-shot him. We have a bunch of triggers here. We draw a card. Nice. Ooh, arm block. Good draw. And then we can remove 2 threat. This should have removed 5 threat. We forgot about that. We played infiltration. That was very important that we did that. And then we're going to remove the last 2 threat, which clears door between worlds. So this thing has good text on it. When defeated, each group in their pod places 3 shatter counters. So we're at 6 + 5, 11. And then we can add 1 synergy counter to our environment of choice. This doesn't come back. Okay. So the environments are, I don't know which one of them is going to help us. It actually might be the one that, we're going to thwart with Zach, so we'll be fine. So we can do Unified Front, which gives us 2 wilds. Seems good. Just universally good. Not on this turn. If we drew a Metal Punch, it would have been perfect. Mounting Resistance? No, not you. Mounting Resistance is when a friendly character would thwart 4 more. It's not super important. And then we have Domineering Forces, which is when you attack, deal 4 more. That one could be it, because we need to do enough damage to Malekith. I'm assuming that we just arm block Malekith, which does 4 damage. So either Zax sets up the Malekith defeat, or we probably thwart 3 with Zax. And in theory, you can Domineering Force with an arm block to knock out Malekith, which would be kind of fun. I think that's what we do. So we're going to grab Domineering Force. So this, I'm going to put a red on it, because it's damage based, and then these will go aside. Okay, Zax, we'll just thwart for 3, getting knocked out. Does not come back. A good friend we made along the way. Okay, we pass here. We're going to hold on to the arm block, do something smart with it. We have 14 health, like we're in a good spot. This is the scariest thing. And again, if we die, we don't. Draw 5, we'll hold on to this, because we're going to try and knock out Malekith, I think. 1, 2, clear the area is good. Metal Punch means we don't have to do the thing to Malekith if we don't want to. 3, 4, that's a good hand. Now the thing with Malekith is we need to decide where to put our arm block. Malekith says after it attacks you, discard the top card, so that has to survive the attack. So if we arm block Malekith with Domineering Force, we don't have to deal that text, which we'll probably do that. This goes to 2. Loki the Rascal attacks for 1 in a card. I really need a hotkey the villain so I don't have to type the name in all the time. So after you resolve a boost card, if it's a treachery, deal it to yourself. So we're not going to block 1 in the card. Not a treachery, 2 damage. What was this? This was meant to be the boost card. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just put that on top. Is Restream not working tonight? We don't do Crash Space on YouTube, on Twitch. It's only YouTube. Yeah, we did not. I think discoverability on Twitch is really, really bad. So if I was going to start streaming as a new channel like this channel, I would only do YouTube. Maybe at some point I do Twitch, but yeah, we don't really do Restream. I thought the chat seemed quiet. It's just quiet. It's a much smaller channel, and we're actually quite a quiet channel usually. All right, Malekith is attacking. We're going to go use our arm to play arm block. And it is a bit goofy. I'm going to use Domineering Force here to make it deal 4 additional damage. It's a bit wasteful, but it's a fun little play. So arm block now is blocking for, in theory, we don't have to use the arm, but we will. So this does 3 + 4 + 1. 8 damage, knocks out Malekith. We don't have to worry about the retaliate because we defeat it. When defeated, place 2 shatter counters. So we go from 11 to 13. I'm going to slide them over because it's getting hard. Wait, no, that's not wrong. That's right. What are the things called that mixes both chats? No, that's it. That's Restream. Oh, that's totally right. We can remove 2 threat. We defeated a minion. We can draw a card. We defeated a minion. Nice. Discharges are good. And we get Dark Arts. This one was really scary before. In Expert mode, we're not playing Expert mode. Search and counter deck for a minion and reveal it. That is amazing. Because we have a Metal Punch. We can go villain maxing. Big minion. Give us the most counters. This thing has counters. This thing has counters. Oh, God. Sick. So we want to pick between Fenris and Grendel. Both cards that have shown up in Netrunner. Grendel has 6 health, guard. When Grendel attacks, discard the top 3 cards. They won't attack. That's 3 shatter counters. While Fenris has guard patrol, Fenris Wolf says place 3 shatter counters, get a moving resistance. We're going to do Fenris because it has better text for us, and it's a fun little dog. What are your hopes and expectations for the new core set? In Arkham or in Marvel? Because there's no one has said there'll be a new core set for Marvel. And for what it's worth, I think Marvel Champions has a really good core set. I think the best thing they could possibly do is print an other core set for Marvel. Yeah, is like, I think they would be in a good position if they printed a core set, which doesn't necessarily replace the first core set, because it's really hard to replace the first core set because the heroes in the first core set are so important to like the identity of Marvel. Like people want to play Spider-Man and Iron Man and She-Hulk, right? But I think it'd be good if they did a new core set and then knowing what they know about the game, like rebalance a bunch of the bad cards that they put in the original cards in the original set. Their original villains were really good. But then have like a new Captain America, maybe a new Black Widow. That's the hard thing, is a lot of the cards that we lost in wave 1 and wave 2 are mostly, I think they generally do like a gender balance, but a lot of the cards that we lost, I think, are dudes. Like people want to play Thor, people want to play Hulk, people want to play Captain America. Yeah, so like I think revisiting wave 1 heroes would be a good spot. I'd be fine if they did like a second alternate core set or like another entry product that was like Fantastic Four. I don't think that would move as much as like redoing the Avengers because people just want to play Captain America. That's hard to fix. November 22nd is a live stream with the Marvel news according to FFG. Oh, well, that's probably important. We'll find out. I noticed a lot of the products are out of print because old, which is discouraging. Plus, I'm a little on the Marvel theme. Yeah, SRN, FFG is running to like big issues this year. This is the first year that they're dealing with it, where the problem is they, in a lot of their games, like Arkham Horror, they have 10 years worth of products. And the reality is, not only in a world of, you know, tariffs and distribution is like a lot harder than it is. Like, look at our 3-month late Trickster Takeover. They just can't keep everything on shelves. And then when it comes to Marvel Champions, there's also licensing. I do want to say you don't need everything. If there's certain heroes that are your favorite Marvel heroes, which doesn't seem like it's the case, I'm not a big Marvel head. Yeah, that might suck if you really want to pick up Hawkeye and you can't. It's also a bummer because they made all this content and like they've done all the work and they're not reprinting it. But at the end of the day, the new stuff has been really cool. So like just grabbing Arkham, whatever's modern, grabbing Marvel Champions, whatever's modern, you're not going to have a bad time. But I hear you. Core set is a complete product they can just play as a board game and try out. Yes, 100%. And the core set of Marvel Champions, the player cards are like of fine to mixed quality, but the campaign is really good. Like I constantly replay the core set villains. They're very, very good. It's a totally complete product. You get full playset. You don't need to buy another one. I get it. I just wish there was a pod option for back catalog stuff. That's really hard to like, you know, pursue, but I hear you. I hear you. I'd want the same. Bummer is Winter Soldier has no threat to remove. We did too good of a job. This is the prevent damage one. Okay, mounting resist. I just dropped a lot of things on the floor. We'll get to them when we need to get to them. That's fine. I feel like making out of print sets available for free print and play could theoretically solve the LCG back catalog issue. I think as a company, they have to protect their stuff. I think like their shareholders won't want them to give away stuff for free. I think you're right, but it's the same thing. Like, why doesn't Magic the Gathering release print-on-demand products for stuff that's out of print? It's because they might print them in the future. Because licensing the art and like the IP means they can't give it away for free. It's just really complicated when it comes to licensing. Like, there's just no way they can do that. Print on demand might work, but that's also very tricky. It's like, will they have the licensing to the mutant heroes forever? Which is more complicated because the mutants now are licensed through Fox Entertainment, I think, not always Disney. At least they were back then, maybe not now, I don't know. But it's just very hard when it comes to licensed product. If it's Arkham Horror, maybe that makes sense, but it's really hard to be like, we're giving out free Marvel stuff in 2025. Yeah. Okay, anyways, that's a mess. That's distracting. Let's get through this. I think we're going to one-shot Loki. So we just Metal Punch, no way around it. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're short a resource. It's really bad. Metal Punch. Deal 7 damage. Fenris Wolf is knocked out. This is where my dice usually go. So what's our little friend here say? Place 3 shatter counters. So now if we defeat Loki, we win. I've run out of dice because I threw them all on the floor. 1 second. Place 1 synergy counter on the mounting resistance. I have to find that on the floor. We've already drawn a card. I found it. It was on the floor. This is the thwart one? We would love the resource one. Yeah, okay. So when somebody thwarts, give them 4 more thwart. Blue for thwart. Hold on. Green for protection, as long as, apologies for the colorblind, but that's fine. So now if we defeat Loki, we win the game. Because we're short 1 resource from winning the game. Fiends. So we're going to attack for 4. And we're going to pass. If we had 1 more resource, we would win the game, because when Loki flips, we do more than 20 damage. So I'll just hold on to one of these, because why not? And we'll pass. In theory, we don't have to hold on to one of them. If we draw an arm block, we'd win, but both our arm blocks are here, so we don't have to like discard a whole hand and like really dig for an arm block. Silent, superpower, infiltration. This is infiltration. This is silent infiltration. This one's a lot quieter. And that's that. Hey, your way, how's it going? It's so funny to think that X-Men must have been a huge factor in Disney buying Fox. Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? Fox is now Disney, so luckily it's not an issue. Bad, you know everything else about mega companies. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not excited about any of that stuff, but I don't know. The designers were talking about like when they were doing the first or the second or third mutant wave, like getting the licensing for instance, Nightcrawler was really difficult. And I'm not sure if that's because they plan to make a Nightcrawler film or something like that. But originally the 4th villain in our 4th hero in the last wave of mutants was meant to be Emma's Frost. And then at the last minute, they got the licensing for Nightcrawler. So I'm assuming like the X-Men licensing isn't super straightforward. This goes to 1. We could jump down. Jumping down actually is not unreasonable because we have a confuse and we just have to survive this round, but I don't think we care. Loki the Rascal. Cool. It's going to attack us for 1 on the card. We'll just take it. 2 damage. We have to resolve this. Actually, we probably don't. So we take 2. And Loki says, after, if it's a treasure card, either deal to yourself or spend a resource of any kind. We'll spend a resource. Okay. 1 encounter card. Evil Alliance. The most complicated card to do for your last action. I'm not going to do this whole setup because it is a lot of actions. This goes to 4. This gets us our encounter card. It's Crossbones. Crossbones attacks for 2. We take 2 damage. We shuffle a bunch of stuff into the deck. I'm not going to do any of this because we're going to clean up in a second. Because once it's our turn, we just attack for 4. None of this has guard. Loki gets knocked out by exactly 4 damage. And then when we do Loki's text, we do this text, which says when Loki would be defeated, put 5 counters on it. Sorry, all my dice are on the floor, but we have 21. Then flip this card. Fading Figment, A2. I wonder if the backs are all the same. I assume it is. Shatter the Illusion. So we have to find the Shatter Illusion card, which I threw on the floor. 1 second. Found it. And this says, remove each shatter counter from Fading Figment, then deal damage to Loki God Allies equal to the number of shatter counters. GG. Yeah, you can do that. Our deck is slightly better at finding minions and a side scheme, so we can get to that like 20 counter. Last time we played, we got to 10, and then we flipped Loki, and then we had to fight a bigger Loki. My guess is you can game the heck out of this if you're not playing on multiplayer. You should not advance the first Loki. The second Loki that comes in, once you do 10 damage, if you don't one-shot it, comes in with some bad numbers. You get steady, you get +1/+1 to everything, more health. So I think the right thing to do is actually flip when it's on 4 counters to get to 9, and then just do 6 damage. Because the least amount of damage you need to defeat Loki is technically, or least amount of counters is, you want to flip on 9 counters, and then you want to flip on 6 counters, right? Yeah, that's it. So, sorry, you want to flip on 4 counters because you add 5, and then you want to flip on, why is this hard? 7? No, 6. 10. 10. It should be easy. It's 10. You want to do 10 counters, but you want to do 4, and then you want to do 6. So we didn't do the easiest line because the most amount of counters, yeah, the least amount of counters you need is 10. You should do 4, and then you should do 6. So you can game this. I wonder if there's no cards that give you evenly 4 on intentionally for this. But yeah, that might just be an artifact of playing solo. One day I should make a proxy nexus for Marvel Champions. Yeah, maybe. I think FFG would be less happy about that. I think they would have to legally do something about that. I don't think they'd be allowed to turn a blind eye about that one. The way that, Netrunner is different. Cool. I wonder if I like this one less than Enchantress, but these are both very interesting. They seem to be cool. They seem to be well designed. The amount of really big minions in this deck does make Winter Soldier a good choice. I'm assuming if we were playing a bunch of other different heroes, we might struggle when we're constantly drawing 6 or 7 health minions. Again, there's a whole bunch of encounter cards that just say draw a big minion, and we were prepared to deal with big minions on most every turn. I think last game Crossbones kind of got stuck on the table for a while at 7 health, because if you don't draw your big burst, you're in a bad spot. These cards are really cool. I like these actually a heck of a lot. Yeah, the whole game is on TTS, which is probably fine as long as it's not something people broadcast about it. Yeah, if people are not broadcasting, it's fine. FFG definitely knows. I'm assuming they're turning a blind eye. I think for a lot of people, Tabletop Simulator was both important at some point in time during like pandemic, but also it's like how I got in the game. A lot of people who play on TTS own the game. But that being said, like Arkham Horror on TTS got shut down by FFG. So sometimes they're forced to do things, but it's usually Asmodee's decision. Dragon Cards, yeah, Dragon Cards is cool. Dragon Cards is a lot easier to play than TTS if you ask me, especially if you're playing solo, but I think Dragon Cards can do multiplayer. Cool. That's Trickster Takeover. I'm definitely excited to come back and do Fading Figment Loki on Expert. It does seem like a bunch of the cards have different text on Expert, which I do actually appreciate a fair bit. Sick. Cool. Nice. We got new stuff. That's really nice. I'm very excited to see the rest of the Hypnotic Gazes and also clean the mess up on the floor, which I guess we'll get to that at some point. I think that's mostly it for today. Thanks so much for hanging out. We've been streaming for about nearly 4 hours, which is pretty long. I'll add some timestamps, but thanks so much if you've been watching or hanging out in chat. If you want to take a second to leave a like on the stream, that actually really does help a lot. This channel, we don't advertise it anywhere, so like it just has to get algorithmed out. So that acts a really big help. If you want to leave a comment, subscribe, that also helps a heck of a lot. Next weekend, we'll be back on Sunday. It'll be Sunday morning next time. Saturday, we're doing a big stream on Netrunner on the weekend. And then Sunday morning, we'll be doing some of this. And then Sunday evening, we won't. That's how it works. We'll do Sunday morning is all I'm saying. I think that's mostly it. What's next? I'm not 100% sure. I just finished a run of Ant-Man. That was like it was a leadership deck. I had a lot of fun. I forget how fun Ant-Man is. Man, Ant-Man is fun. Flipping is one of the funnest things to do in Marvel Champions. And you just really wanted to flip the heck out in Ant-Man, which is great. What's happening with Netrunner? Man of the Moon is running this invitational tournament kind of in the place of the Intercontinentals. So I think it's like 24 players are invited, and it's all like the super, super high caliber players. So it's like everyone who's won a Continentals, the top 3 at every like at Worlds, the top 3 placing on the Beans leaderboard. It's just like a killer lineup. And then it's a bit of a show match where it's you have 3 lives and you just play until you lose. So it's very, very funny. Very, very good narratives. And it's going to be streamed on Metro Grid next Saturday. Take care, Andre. I'm going to make some breakfast, 8 p.m. breakfast, lol. Start the VOD from the top. Yo, hopefully you and your partner are feeling better. Thanks for dropping in. I don't know if we're gonna have time to do video content this week. I'd really like to. It's not that bad to do video content in terms of the time it takes. I need to build a deck for that, but it might be a nice time to deal with some expert Loki. That's mostly it. Take care, y'all. We'll see you in the next one. Really appreciate you dropping by, and hopefully you're taking care of yourself. Stay good. The days are short, the nights are long. Take care of yourselves. Bye now.